Thank you, President Trump. Now I'm going to buy some mother F bleep guns.
And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting.
And we
Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And
let's get it popping.
Doing a news show, and that is what happened in the news.
Hello, humans. This is your power report for the 10th of July, 2025. I am Dan from the internet. We are in yet another one of these weeks in the administration, and I'm joined here by Bam and Kristina. They'll be on the screen shortly. Ceez will be on later. Ray had a scheduling issue, so she'll be on next week. Apologies, but yes, we have a lot of stories to go on. Bam, you're now on screen. Kristina, you are now on screen. Hello.
What up?
Hello.
So we got to do another one of these, huh?
Oh no, how terrible.
Yeah, there was something actually, like, in a rare, I promise I'm not just like kissing ass to a co-host here, but like there was just like I want to start with the Epstein stuff, and you, Kristina, are abusing your blue check mark, and you had a banger here that I'm going to show on screen. I'm gonna. Do you want to read your tweet? I feel awkward reading your tweet when you are on screen here, so go ahead.
Yeah, I can read it. Actually, you know what? Let me pull it up so I can actually read it, because that's a little too small for me.
Totally, that makes sense. But yeah, we were talking about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and there's this like this fake cognitive dissonance going on the right wing, where they want to try to believe that this never happened, that like there's no relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, that him saying that, oh, the files just magically don't exist makes total sense, and that they would have accepted the same thing under Joe Biden. But yeah, that there's some context here, and like when you posted this, I saw this, Kristina, I'm like, thank you for grounding us in reality for a moment, because I'm just like, yo.
So yeah, I got it. I remember in the aughts when Trump used to be on Howard Stern all the fucking time and used to say some wild ass shit, and no one even regards it anymore. Dude was talking about a 16-year-old Lindsay Lohan being good and bad because she had a problematic father and brought up her having freckles on her tits for some fucking reason. Dude was talking about his own fucking daughter on that shit. Like, fucking his daughter, bro. Like, he's on the fucking list, bro. This ain't some men are like that type shit. That motherfucker is a sex pest and always fucking has been. Anyone with a functioning brain and minimal critical thinking skills can see that. Like, you cannot fucking tell me that a New York yuppie with more money than God would not possibly treat women like property. Come on, bro. And no, don't do the people can change. He was fucking like 50 when he said that shit. That's a dirty old man, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely. And I remember, like, I thought this was, never mind the Access Hollywood tapes.
Yeah.
But I thought this was common knowledge that we all knew that,
it's like we forgot about it.
No, but like we all knew that, Donald Trump was like the head of like Miss America or Miss Universe or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was well known for walking into the girls' like dressing rooms.
Yeah, like Teen
while
USA
they were changing while getting ready. Yeah, like Teen USA. Like literally, like Miss America is like literally it's all creep like Hugh Hefner behavior.
Yeah.
But like it's you gotta underscore Miss Teen USA pageant to understand that, like, here comes Shiesty Donald walking through the dressing rooms. Oh, that's the guy. Look at him. Yeah. It's like Timu Hugh Hefner. It's Dollar General Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, you know Hugh Hefner had himself buried next to Marilyn Monroe. Fucking piece of shit.
One of
kids these days would call that a simp.
I think the latest Michael Moore documentary, I can't remember the name of it, but he did like a compilation of Trump's creepiness with his daughter, and it's
a lot.
It's a lot, dude. It's just like, yo, come on. Like, yeah, it's like, sick.
Ivanka is his greatest creation. That's what it is.
That's what he thinks. It's like that's his crown. That's the crown of his jewels.
I made a hot daughter I want to fuck is what he's basically saying.
That's his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, again, quoting, there's a lot of things I like about my daughter. I want to say sex, but I can't.
Yeah.
End quote.
Yeah. That's his side piece.
Yeah.
That's what he means by make America great again. Hey, ceez, how you doing?
Hey, and don't want to be introduced at that point, but yeah.
No, you don't want to talk about incest?
That's crazy. Why are you setting me up like this? That's crazy.
Since when, Caesar? Since when?
What do you mean since when? What the hell?
Caesar, happy surprise Women's History Month. When's the last time you gave a woman money? We're talking about craziest questions we've ever asked ceez on stream.
Gave money? Like unsolicited, or just like because like you're a woman and
you're not
appreciate you.
So the main story we're going to talk about is just like right wing Epstein cope. Like it's been
all the right wingers are like, I'm like, y'all were fooled. Like if what happened to phase 2? You know, like, hey, Chai check, I know a pedophile ring that you're covering up.
So like, hang on. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this. And again, this is very outside of my character here. And I tend not to do this sort of thing. I tend to avoid this sort of thing. But Time Magazine recently did their first ever top 100 most influential creators of 2025.
Congratulations to Dan from the web for making the list.
congratulations for Dan from the web for making number 617 on the top 100 list. But I do want to give thanks to my boy Kaisa Nat over here, who got the main number one. But I also begrudgingly would like to give thanks to another winner on the list, one Hassan D. Piker.
His last name was Cedar now.
Hassan D. That's not how family lineage works. I'm trying to tell people. But no, Hassan Piker made the list, and I don't need to go through the whole history. I don't really care. I'm not trying to even do the clout thing. I will just say, and I'll express this here, having worked with him and having seen him mature a lot, I'm proud of him for getting this accolade and this recognition. Who knows what happens in the next couple of years?
It makes all the right wing hate just seems just online and nothing. Like, he actually is very much liked, no matter how many drama farmers for Sex Pest in the streaming world like to say otherwise.
What number is he?
I don't know if they numbered them all. They just listed 100 of them. But and just Kaisa Nat is the cover page, so naturally he's number one. But I don't think they put numbers anywhere. Otherwise, that's all Hassan would talk about until he turned 40.
Shout out my boy Speed for making it too.
Oh, Speed made it.
Be pissed.
Yeah,
that's
Speed,
good.
My boy Speed, fastest man alive.
If
Lyles in a race.
if there were a ranking, Speed would be above Hassan.
But there is. I think it's split in between Legacy or something, or premium.
Yeah, there's Titans, Entertainers, Leaders,
and Hostile Girl.
Higher in the Titan area. They're super, super up there.
I just think it's funny they make Hot Tool Girl a political commentator or
how she got there is crazy. She literally stole money.
And also her account now has been bought by a cryptocurrency business, so it's tweeting out stuff that now.
She ran a crypto scam and then told people, well, when they talked about it online to closing after everybody was arguing about it, she said, well, I'm about to go to bed now, y'all. Good night. And that was her sign off on people losing $1.3 million in the community or somewhere, $700,000.
Dan, do you know most of these people?
I know some of these. I mean, I know of some of these people. I can't say I know these people.
Do you know them as streamers or?
I know a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Streamers. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jordan the Stallion 8. He's the guy who will do the phone
Oh
I
my
need
God,
to tell you
I
something.
fucking love him.
Come here real quick. He'll be
back it
that
up.
Guy.
I love Jordan C. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He's the best.
He doesn't belong with Haley Welch over here. Keith Lee, he's the God is Amazing food tour guy. He's the one who's at least humble on camera and will go to different spots. San Francisco Bay Area, be quiet for a moment. That video's coming soon, I promise. But he will go to different spots all across the world and oh, this spot's about to close down. They've got some really good food. I'm going to try them. It's actually 10 out of 10. He's the person who is an influencer who makes restaurants go TikTok viral for a good reason.
Yeah.
Kareem Rama Subway takes it's truly the Jay Leno of our time. Honestly.
Yeah, he found something and it stuck with that because he was trying for years.
No offense to
Jay Leno's a crazy comparison.
Yeah, actually, no offense to Jay Leno, but I'm just saying
he's the Craig Ferguson of our time because he
got more cars
creative.
There used to be a spot everyone would want to aspire to be the late night talk show host, ideally on NBC or CBS. That was the role.
CBS
so I just say Jay Leno is that spot. Fuck the Chen. But Kareem is definitely that person. He actually had a really funny interview that was we posted the Tim Wall Subway takes, but we didn't post the Kamala one because it was so awkward, and we both decided that it wouldn't work on the show.
Wow. See, Tim Walls is more likable. He's very he's just an everyday guy.
But yeah, Wisdom Kaye, Stephen Bartlett. I know I've seen a lot of these folks' content. Theo Vaughn, I could do without, honestly, but
yeah,
I know.
He deserves to be.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I know Ilona Maher or whatever. I know her name. I know her.
I wonder if the other Hassan, who does all the Palestinian charities with other content creators, who does a really good Mickey Mouse impression, by the way, is on the list. Maybe, I don't know, but
hey, ceez, our boy, reckless driver MKBHD is on here.
MKBHD going 90 in a school zone to go.
Nice. That's the car reviewer guy, right?
Yeah, he does car reviews now too. He does it all. He's just
Joe
the
Rogan.
best.
Alex Cooper's on there. She's
Apple
a
shell.
Anyways, this is meant to say that, like, there's a lot of DNA in between, a lot of people on this show, except for Bam maybe, and Hassan. So, like, shout out to him, props to him. Bam, you get to be the one who gets to distance himself when the tapes come out. Okay, so
Caesar is dressing like him at one point. So
that's crazy.
At all points, basically.
I didn't know that he ran fashion in the world, but okay. I forgot.
And Dan called it out.
Okay.
Anyways, we have a show here. We did a couple of tangents to indulge people on the left, and so I'm done now. Let's get into some fun. So I guess we'll start here. Basically, you had this whole apparatus around the right wing, which, like, the Epstein story and how many people were, like, obsessed with the Epstein story always rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, really, this is the thing we're focusing on? Like, this is the thing we care about? Okay, clearly, these people don't actually care about politics or policy or, like, the different issues that matter to people. They just care about, like, memes and jokes, and that's why you can literally create meme coins and shit coins to monetize off of these stupid people.
And binders with info that's supposed to be actually classified within the government.
Exactly. So, like, Jeffrey Epstein became a little bit of a meme, like, among a lot of people, but especially among the right wing. Like, Epstein didn't kill himself was, like, a thing people would say at parties. Like,
and they ignore his affiliation with Trump, but boast about, like, Clinton and whatever. I'm like, they both were friends with him and friends with each other.
Oh yeah, cartoons. They definitely were. More on that in a moment, because it's a shame Ray isn't on, because I have a particularly lawyerly thing that she and I would enjoy very much, but for the rest of y'all, you are just going to, like, want to drill your brains out. But I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to spend 20 fun minutes with me going through some Ben Shapiro clips, because the whiplash though is very funny. But before that, let's folks, if you're watching that on stream, lube up, because we are going to play.
Mine's expired. What are you talking about?
We are going to play expiration date's nothing but a number. We are just going to play.
Dan was like,
Bam's like, help me. ceez is like, what? Anyways, here's
how do you do with 2 children?
Here's Alex Jones. Keeping it cool as a cucumber. I mean, honestly, this looks like your thumb if you, like, stub it the wrong way or, like, accidentally bang it against the table. But nevertheless, it's talking, and this is Alex Jones here. His
immediate recognize him anymore. What the hell?
And his immediate reaction.
Shit he injects into himself.
So now, by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm gonna go throw up, actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now.
It's that Ozempic, dog.
Your eyes and your ears gotta feel hot.
It's this.
God, he's so lame.
I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this, tears my guts out. And so now, by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm gonna go throw up, actually.
Sorry, I left it running a little bit quickly because it was just too good. But unfortunately, I couldn't queue up the little SpongeBob SquarePants a few moments later bit. because you might think, oh, Alex Jones is finally turning against Donald Trump. Like, oh, we've seen the light. Roll tape.
More rolling over. People say, well, that's very immoral to do. The argument would be it's too damaging to bring this back and bring down the whole government. I'm not endorsing that. But the best approximation I've got is they get the files, they raid the FBI. The FBI raids the FBI 5 months ago. When they hid the files in New York, they make the guy resign that was covering it up, and Comey's daughter's still there. They then load the gun, cock the gun, point at the deep state's head, and now suddenly the NATO, everybody's kissing Trump's butt, and it looks like Trump is now in control of the file, and obviously they're not going to read in the FBI. It's the CIA and Ratcliffe doing it. The best approximation I've got, and it is speculation, but I got a lot of points, is that Trump has decided to just use the file against them. What do you think, Judge?
I think you're right on point with that. I think a great deal of what happened with Smith and Malargo when the FBI raided it some years ago.
Malargo.
Why is Judge Joe Brown look like a slave picture? Like,
he looks like literally California Raisin.
It looks
He
like
really
a
looks like
a
Alex
comrade in
Jones.
arms.
What is he doing?
like that is Judge Joe Brown, and just like stop it.
Why is he in the
recognize him.
goddamn militant fit? What's going on here, dog?
They literally like him now because he called Kamala a whore a bunch of times.
He's wearing the fatigues. That's how you know he's serious.
We really needed the TV judges on their side. That was a big W for the party, is the TV judges.
And this thing that clearly they had no standing to go against about him supposedly having classified confidential documents, when, as we have discussed, the President of the United States under the Constitution as chief diplomat and commander-in-chief has been held to have absolutely unquestionable authority as to what he declares either confidential and secret or decides to declare is not such. So my speak.
I mean, honestly, it's just rambling at this point. But like,
it's just like, and that's the thing. It's like I saw one of those other guys, maybe it was Bongino from before, talking about the Epstein stuff, and like none of them will acknowledge any of the pictures or videos with Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together.
A lot of them.
The videos.
Yeah, like for them, that doesn't exist. But what does exist is like something that they have no proof about. And now they're saying, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. And all of them are just going to have to eat it. Now, I was talking to Caesar earlier, and I'm going to couch this in a way that doesn't have anybody knocking on my door or Dan's door at 356
whoa.
But now
tap the brakes, dude.
These conspiracy people are unhinged, and so many of them, like, their whole life was Epstein files. Their whole life was Epstein tapes and the flight logs and the list.
Yeah. The fake flight logs that
I could like the flight list that like Beyonce and Jay-Z were on, and like all the like same conspiracy people we've been talking
Stephen
about
Colbert.
for 20 years. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these people is so disappointed in Trump that they take it upon themselves to see some things out, and it might not hit his ear. Now, I'm not advocating that, and I'm not a violent person, and I don't own any weapons, unlike the person that lives at 451
Kristina.
Red Hook. But but I would not be surprised, because I mean, I was saying this, I mean, I've been saying this for a while on Power Report. Those conspiracy people, like the real like unhinged right, they turn on you fast.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you disappoint them, like they're turning on you right away. Alex Jones is fake. Bongino, these guys are in it for the money and for the clout. But there's some freaking like person in the basement that heard that Trump said the file doesn't exist, and I only believed in this politician. Not to ramble, but like the conspiracy people never believed in politicians before. They were saying that they were all terrible, Republican, Democrat. None of them ever mess with the government ever. But because Trump placated to the 9/11 truthers, and then like now this administration, he's hiring the Epstein files people, that gets them hyped. For him to say like it doesn't exist, I would not be surprised if somebody comes out with one of Dan's things that he has under his desk that you cock back at. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it's
Or are you just happy to see me, Bam?
Oh no.
Well, convenient
Things
timing.
I have
Bam.
under my desk. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we've known about Jeffrey Epstein for, I mean, decades. I mean, the fact that there's like he has no client list or people associated with him. Then why is Prince Andrew banned from doing anything related to the royal family? Like no royal duties. Why? And also too, his victim's dead. So it's like you guys cannot hide this. You cannot claim that there's nothing there when there certainly is something there. It might not be the eyes wide shut sex parties that people right-wingers have made out to be, but there's definitely,
Hey, did he?
Exactly. More on that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But it's just fascinating to me how they're now, a lot of them are like, oh no, we believe him. Like half are like people are believing him, other half are like, oh my god, we were played, we were fooled, we were made fools out, because of the phase, the files. It's like if you had those the phase one, what was in them? Probably everything was redacted.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's like going off what Bam said, it's not really the people who preach it or like talk about it that are ones that carry out the violence. It's the people you preach to. Those people become like psychopaths. Like they become obsessive. Like they make this a part of their lifestyle. They consume more content on it. They consume the content and then they become so enveloped and it becomes part of their life. You've seen with the MAGA people, it's like their entire life like can only go on if it's like, oh well, apart from everything, he's gonna be the one that breaks down the Illuminati and all the stuff in the background. When you break that, you can do all the deportations, you can do all the stuff, you can make them pay more taxes, you can make them broke, or you can make the whole family lose their houses. But when you start like taking away things that there's like part of their like quote unquote belief system, that's when they start acting real crazy. And that's why. Now, Bam was loosely throwing out digits of numbers of homes of people. I don't know what he's talking about, but the individuals out there are crazy. We'll see about that, Dan. Well, people are crazy out there, so we don't know. And the unknown is like the scary part because, unfortunately, as he's seen for himself, his side, there's some people that turn up over there and they even turn up against him during his presidential run. Like, it wasn't like he was really saying anything to make them flip like that I heard, I guess. But someone was already down for it. So all you're doing is putting gasoline in the fire. And I don't know, every it feels like every single week the Trump administration is like playing a game that I'm like, this game is like, you're going far. You're going far. And at some point, some shit's got to give, dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it baffles me that everyone thought that the smoking gun was going to come out. And I'm like, nah, people are willing to protect each other. Big wig people, millionaires, billionaires, elites, whatever people, maybe, yeah, of course, obviously in Hollywood, music industry, everywhere. They're all associated. It's just one giant circle jerk with kids involved, unfortunately.
And the funny last thing real quick is, it's funny, Joe Brown, is it Joe Brown, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy I don't remember that. I'm so proud of myself. Judge Joe Brown goes on this ramble, discussing, the powers of the president. And whether or not, I didn't obviously hear the whole clip. I don't know if that was supposed to be in defense of like Trump or against him, but your ramble in itself is like inciting to someone listening. They're like, oh, so this was something that Trump could have controlled, and like he just had all these executive powers. And suddenly there's no evidence, even though in the past he told us there was, and then this person sits on their desk, and all of a sudden we got him in there. He's saying there's nothing on there, and it's old news. So like you're at the end of the day, your rambles are all going to point to a person with power, because the point was to put Trump in there because he's the one that controls everything, and now he's there and he's saying there's nothing. So somebody's going to want some answers, and they're going to find means by it that aren't the most conversational, diplomatic ways.
We saw literally, I forgot who he was being questioned by. She asked, "Are you going to release the 9/11 files or declassify?" Yes.
Like, yeah.
Are you going to declassify JFK? Yes. And I did a lot in my first administration. Are you going to declassify the Epstein files? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, maybe not that so much, because there might be phony stuff in there. It's like, dude, like the dude is guilty. He was, whatever Epstein was doing, Donald Trump was doing it right there with them. They were friends. Donald Trump also wished Ghislaine Maxwell luck on her when she got convicted. Oh, I wish her luck. Like, I used to live by her. Like, he's not like a good liar like that. Like he's too dumb. Like,
yeah.
He's a narcissist. So like when he's lying, he believes it. So like these moments is like, yeah, he knows that he's guilty in there. So it's not coming out. And a lot of these, like I was saying, like a lot of these, media right-wing people, they're phony. Like Alex Jones he's saying he has integrity. Like that is, maybe you had integrity when you went to Bohemian Grove. No, I'm joking. But, but there are people that are like, no, like this person betrayed me. I believed in him. Donald Trump got the conspiracy base because Roger Stone went on Alex Jones and said that, and insinuated that Donald Trump was a 9/11 truther. Like, he's going to reveal things about 9/11. Donald Trump in his first campaign was saying like, yeah, like there's some things, about 9/11, you might see Saudi Arabia involved. And then his first trip was to Saudi Arabia after he won. Like, even
though we knew Saudi Arabia was involved, but we kept being called conspiracy theorists for years about it.
So like, I think that, I don't think this is going to do anything to hurt him politically. But I'm saying that Alex Jones right there. But who knows what happens on the streets after, because of this? Who knows? Because I see Dan is real focused, and he might be like cleaning something. I seen like, it looked like he had a long.
No. I am very focused. Just keep it pushing. I have a clip I was trying to get ready, and I wanted y'all to speak, and so I was like listening and trying to exercise restraint for a moment, actually. So,
oh yeah, here we go.
Oh my God, yeah. Pinkerville says if Hunter Biden was on the list, they would have released it months ago. We literally
think about that.
We literally got pictures of Hunter Biden's penis with Skittles on his erect penis. Like, we got that before Epstein files. Like, literally. Now, I don't know if Kristina knew about that. You're looking like, wait, what? How did I not see that picture?
I mean, all I say is I know the size, and I get why his sister-in-law was with him for a hot minute.
Okay, where's that? Never mind. But yeah, like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, like somebody's gonna take that real bad. And I did listen to some kind of like Trump supportery, like conspiracy people that I know of online. I don't follow them, but I was like, oh, let me see what they say about this. And like, they're not having like a lot of energy. Like these people that are like in the media space, they're not having a lot of energy. It'll be the person that be in the comments of the media people that's going to have the energy.
Yep. Yeah. I just cannot believe how gullible people are. I mean, I can believe, but it's like, come on, guys, this is something you guys have been wanting for God knows how many years, and it finally, it's a nothing burger.
Well, they're complaining about Superman. What the hell's wrong with Superman? Is he black?
I just saw Superman, and
Wait, Dan's saying don't talk about it yet.
I'm just saying, like, we've got that part planned for a little bit later. I promise.
Yeah, because I saw it.
Loved it. Yeah. So I sorry, y'all. But this is the part where I start to go through some of the right-wing cope. And I made my bones off of like decoding Ben Shapiro and his like lawyer speak. And I gotta tell you, he is running it on he's running it on overtime here because he is really trying to say that Trump has nothing to do with this and that he would have no idea that Trump has anything to do with this. Let me try to play as little of this as I possibly can.
All right.
Pathetic.
Wasn't weren't they saying I saw somebody weren't they saying that Dan Bongino was JFK Jr.? No,
Oh God.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was playing the
Don't do that to Jack Schlossberg like that. Don't do that to him. Don't do that to the Kennedy grandson. Don't do that to him. He would come for you.
Sorry, let me play this.
Eyebrows.
Enormous number of people upset, bamboozled, bewildered by the FBI DOJ declaration a couple of days ago in a 2-page memorandum that the case against Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein was effectively closed, with the revelation that Jeffrey Epstein did in fact kill himself. He was not murdered in his prison cell, and also that there is no so-called Epstein list, a list of men to whom young underage girls were trafficked by Ghislaine Maxwell and by Jeffrey Epstein. And people freaked out about this, and for good reason, because the reality is, of course, that we have been told for years on end that there is such a list, that there is a gigantic web of conspiracy in which Maxwell and Epstein were enmeshed, and they were essentially running young girls for the pleasure of overage, very famous, very wealthy, very powerful men, right? That was the story that we were all sort of brought up on over the past few years. And so let me say right at the outset, what is the real story about Jeffrey Epstein? I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. Nobody knows the answer. All I know is the publicly available information from court documents and from public disclosures
redacted.
And from various allegations made by various parties. That's all I know. And that's all anybody knows, except for members of the DOJ and FBI who have access to all sorts of information that you and I do not know. And so I will say right at the outset that when you look at the number of people inside DOJ and FBI who have now come out behind this memo, they have information I do not have. And so you now have a choice. You can either believe that these people are motivated by a desire to cover something up, that the conspiracy goes even higher than we thought, or you can believe that the people who are in a position of power, in a position to know, the people with access to data that I don't have, you don't have, no one has, that those people actually are telling the truth based on their legally best information.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there because I snapped at this point just listening to this by myself because number one, I called out liberals on this last year with the TikTok ban by saying, oh, well, if Democrats and Republicans came together on something and they have some secret information about how dangerous TikTok is to people, then I guess we have to trust them because for once Democrats and Republicans agree. No. Rule number like 0 of politics. If Democrats and Republicans agree on anything, you're fucked.
That's not good. Yeah.
You're fucked. They are working against you, the people, and it's like, oh, we can't let the savages know what's going on. And so, like, this same logic was used to, you know, get rid of Democrat, Republican, whatever. I'm really talking real broad right now to whoever's listening. This is about tamping down on free speech, not just for Americans, but like for human rights, free speech level type of stuff. Secondly, this whole idea that like, oh, we've got, you know, I trust the people who are in the Department of Justice, you know, and all they say are just the evidence of what they have to give, and they are legally bound by law to do these certain things. The entire fucking Trump administration has been a case study in not being legally bound by law. So like the idea that he's arguing from that standpoint is so weak. It's so flimsy. It's like jumping on a boardwalk that's about to like collapse right in front of you while your dumbass falls into the sea. Like it's ridiculous. Any thoughts before I continue a little bit here?
He's an idiot. That's all I gotta say.
Great point.
He looks so dejected that it looks like when he's talking, he doesn't even really believe nor care about what he's talking about anymore. He lost so much of his goddamn sauce. It's crazy. There's like no energy in his eyes anymore.
It's just
and I love it.
It's just embarrassing that like your career is to just like cape for this side no matter what. Like that's just embarrassing. Like this thing that's happening is so obvious, and you have to wait. You have to like figure out a way to make an excuse for it and like try to sound intelligent at the same time. As many times as this person, I'm sure, shat on the DOJ when Biden was in office, shat on any legal process that was going after Trump for myriad of, go ahead, shoot.
No. I don't have the clip, but I'm just saying keep spitting because everything you did, I know for a fact I will stand on business. I will go to court and say that Ben Shapiro did that shit because I listened to that shit. I listened to all that shit.
Yeah. Like this guy, like, a year ago, you're saying the DOJ and these people are, witch hunters or whatever. And now, like, well, guys, if they had it, they would give it to us. Like,
no, they would.
You also seen those pictures. You also seen those videos. You know who Donald Trump is. Let us remind you, he is also on the hook for $80+ million for sexual assault. He's on the hook for that shit. Still, he tried to appeal to not pay $5 million of it, like recently, and it got rejected. Like he's on the hook. This is a creep, predator, rapist. That's who he is, and this is your guy. And you're embarrassing yourself. And you know what? Let me stop. I'll leave it there.
I miss the days when Ben Shapiro would say, "Yeah, you effing with this wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word."
Yeah, I wish you would just go back to like
this wet ass P word.
I wish you would just go back to like the celebrity like drama criticism that he does because like he is the right wing Cenk Uygur. He's washed. He's done. Like Candace Owens. Like Candace Owens is to Ben Shapiro what Hassan is to Cenk, right? Like he just double jumped you. Like it's OVAH over. But I'm gonna let him continue here because he's gonna I want to let him continue here because otherwise this is gonna go on the whole show. I don't want to hear Ben Shapiro's voice this long, but I have a point to make here.
Conspiracy? Sure, that could happen. And when that happens, I will change my opinion. But all of this broke out into the open yesterday when after this DOJ FBI memo went out, President Trump was asked during a cabinet meeting about the Jeffrey Epstein case, and he got rather irked because in his view, this thing has been ongoing since 2019. It is now 2025. There's a lot going on in his administration. In President Trump's view, the American people have a lot of priorities, and the Epstein-Maxwell case is low on the priority list. Now, it is obviously true that for a huge number of President Trump's core supporters, the Epstein-Maxwell case was a sort of litmus test for trust in government, in the authorities, that if you were essentially black-pilled, if you knew that everybody was corrupt, then this was a great test case for seeing just how awake you were to the excesses of government and the cover-ups and the conspiracies.
Straw man.
And that's true. That's just the way that the online ecosystem works. However, when President Trump speaks for the American people more generally, and he says, guys, don't we have better things to do? You can understand his irritation. The man is trying to negotiate an end to a war in the Gaza Strip. He's trying to negotiate an end to a war in Ukraine. He's attempting to revivify the American economy. He's attempting to crack down on illegal immigration. On a list of American priorities by the polls, the Epstein-Maxwell case comes in pretty close to zero. Just on
Pause it for a second. Pause it for a second.
So cut to again, because my brain does not exist. I just had a random little piece in my head of this random thing I saw on, honestly, almost I don't know, to be pedantic, let's call it 6 years ago today, on July 9th, 2019. Mind you, we're recording this today on July 10th, 2025. Here's Ben Shapiro covering some Epstein coverage. Year to our Lord, on the same day just a couple of years ago, and let's see if this is what the fuck? Let's see if this is any different.
So fresh faced.
I'm literally turning into Lewis Black right now. Like I can see it slowly.
Hey, I love him.
Something all over it. Angle number 2 is that Epstein had a lot of rich and powerful friends with whom he used to hobnob. And 2 of those friends were Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. And so there's all sorts of speculation today that either one of those men is involved in these sorts of sexual activities with women or girls who are underage. And that speculation obviously is based also on the reputation of the 2 men, both of whom are famous womanizers. According to the Associated Press, Jeffrey Epstein has hobnobbed with some of the world's most powerful people during his jet-setting life. Future President Donald Trump called him a terrific guy. Former President Bill Clinton praised his intellect and philanthropic efforts and was a frequent flyer aboard his private jet. The arrest of the billionaire financier on child sex trafficking charges is raising questions about how much his high-powered associates knew about the hedge fund manager's interactions with underage girls and whether they turned a blind eye to potentially illegal conduct. And of course, it is putting additional...
I'm going to go back for a second because I want us to really get a sense of what Bill Clinton is quoted by Ben Shapiro himself as saying about Jeffrey Epstein.
Some of the world's most powerful people during his jet-setting life or girls who are underage. And that speculation obviously is based also on the reputation of the 2 men, both of whom are famous womanizers. According to the Associated Press, Jeffrey Epstein has hobnobbed with some of the world's most powerful people during his jet-setting life. Future President Donald Trump called him a terrific guy. Former President Bill Clinton praised his intellect and philanthropic efforts and was a frequent flyer aboard his private jet.
So Bill Clinton praised his philanthropic efforts, which is, again, I'm not saying Bill Clinton is innocent here, but he at least knew when to tap the brakes. Donald Trump called him a terrific guy. But I want to speed ahead a little bit to what else Donald Trump said in Ben Shapiro's words about Jeffrey Epstein.
She said, like everyone else, Trump sees the charges against Epstein as completely unconscionable and obviously criminal, disgusting. Conway also defended Acosta, saying that the actual perpetrator here is Jeffrey Epstein. The only major comment that has ever been given to date that we know about from Trump about Epstein is a comment to New York Magazine in 2002 in which he said that he had known Epstein for 15 years and praised him as a terrific guy, saying, quote, he's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, which is not a great thing to say about a guy who's an alleged pedophile. No doubt about it, Jeffrey.
You kidding me?
Bill Clinton says, oh, he's a great philanthropist? What a horrible person. Donald Trump says, oh, I love Jeffrey Epstein. He's a terrific guy. By the way, he loves women on the younger side, just like me. Not a great thing to say, but let's just move along that. Let's move along that.
They did participate in like a gang rape of underage girl, both Epstein and Trump. Like that's on record.
There was some 13-year-old that came out about Trump, either 13 or 15, and I remember specifically like talking about, like, obviously that hasn't been proven, but like something about him like biting her breasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like this shit is wild out here.
Yeah.
There's like the whole thing where ceez, go ahead after this, but like there's the whole thing where by the way, Donald Trump's wife, alleged wife, Melania Trump, well documented. They met on the Lolita Express, Jeffrey Epstein's plane that goes to Hoo-Ha Island. All right. It goes to Hoo-Ha Nick Jr. Island. Okay. Like that is where your president of the United States met his wife on an island to meet underage girls. I'm just gonna let that marinate.
Thank God what's Marla Maples left while she still could.
Yeah, all the other electron people. Thank God.
But also I will say one more thing. Ben Shapiro is at his happiest when he's reviewing musicals. Like he loves Broadway.
Okay, Queen.
I know, like when he was reviewing Wicked, I'm like, this is what he needs to do. This is what brings the man joy. Not talking politics and bullshit. Talking about musicals and what he liked, what he disliked, because he was a musician. Like he knows classical music. So like when I was watching his review of like Wicked Part 1, I was like, oh yeah, this is what he needs to stick to because this is good content right here.
He's like, I don't love. He's like, I do love that the Wicked Witch is black. I do love that, but
He's like he was actually critiquing the ending of Defy Gravity. He's like, when they're waiting for her to say and nobody in all of Oz. He was like, they kind of you kind of lose the momentum when she's just singing Unlimited over and over again. I'm like, God damn, Ben, how many times have you seen this movie already? This is what you need to stick to. This is good content. You gotta. This is better than politics. Stick with what you know.
Oh, stick to it, Ben. Stick to it, Ben.
Yes, your friend said so.
Ben, who was infamously told by his wife, they're not supposed to get wet.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, I'm like, okay, then how the hell is
he was like, period.
He's like, good. He's like, he's one of those guys that's like, oh, you know.
He was like, yeah, good, because I hate
He's
this
like,
as
oh
much
my
as
god,
you
I
do.
can't
She's
believe
like, what?
sex is he's like sex is not supposed to be wet, and I'm like, yes, it's supposed to be wet and slicky. Like, I don't understand. Like, it can't be dry and sandy. Oh, hey Dan, what's up?
Anyways,
he's like the sheep.
I thought this would be a great time to bring up a really classic Majority Report clip, only because this is where I can find Ben Shapiro's past life before he became a conservative commentator, and he was just trying to get his script caught in Hollywood. Because I was like, this is all Ben Shapiro is. He's a theater girly. He always has been. He always will be. And like, because he was never accepted, because his shit is trash, and like all he can do is do the violin to Schindler's List while Larry King like anti-Semitically like rubs his like fingers to like, you know, this is all Ben Shapiro's got to his name. And so folks, a classic. Rest in power, Michael Brooks.
Oh, Bender.
Enough to break into Hollywood. And I should shout out some more news. Cody Johnston, who initially included part of this in his recent Ben Shapiro video.
Who knew if he
Cody
wanted
Shody.
a weapons vehicle?
Exactly.
By the way,
Oh boy.
Yeah. She owns him before the BBC guy did.
Yes.
The true Hollywood story of how the left overtook your TV. Primetime propaganda.
Welcome to Connie Martinson Talks Books.
She's cool.
You watch a TV show and you start laughing, but afterwards, do you think about what maybe was said or what you've been really recommended to believe? My guest, Ben Shapiro, has written Primetime Propaganda, the true Hollywood story of how the left has made our country took over your TV, and it's published by Harper.
I love how she wants
welcome.
Connie sexy.
Oh my
ass.
God! And
he's
I
a baby.
guess one has to think about things we've laughed at.
This is sex god Ben Shapiro here. This is him in rare form, by the way. This is when he was like in peak right here.
But you seem to pinpoint the authors of those shows as being liberal Jews.
Pause
it for a second.
I mean, Susan Harris is not Jewish. There are plenty.
Nor is Gary Marshall.
Nor is Gary Marshall. I certainly don't say that all of them are Jewish.
Well,
There's of
comfortable with
course
that
a lot
line
of Jews in
of
Hollywood, but that's because there are a lot of Jews at the top of any industry. Jews happen to be very hardworking.
Oh God! This is so many anti-Semitic tropes coming out of him about Hollywood.
Seriously?
I don't like where this is going.
Wow.
Oh shit!
To be very hardworking.
No. It isn't just that. They have a point of view that can be considered comic and humorous.
That's true. I mean, there's a unique Jewish humor, and that's been true since the beginning. I mean, go back to your show of shows. Everybody in that writer's room is a New York Jew. And that's
Oh my
good. I mean, this is good stuff.
Stop writing
this
our
is not a rip
coattails,
on,
Ben
on Jews.
Shapiro.
I mean, that'd be ridiculous. The point, and by the way,
But
one of the points I
everybody
make in the
should-
book is that the people who write TV are incredibly talented. That they have a political agenda, but they're very talented.
Well, let me say, I've yet to know of too many conservatives, which is where you put yourself, who are funny. I mean, it has to do with a humor that is transferable to.
I love this bitch.
I mean, I utterly disagree with that. I think there can be conservatives who are funny. Liberals may not find them funny.
All right,
name one.
I mean, okay, Ann Coulter for conservatives is funny. Okay, for liberals, she's not funny. Bill Maher for liberals, hilarious. For conservatives, not funny. Okay, there's
well, that depends because you're using politics as the form of their humor. But
Bill Cosby is relatively conservative
today.
Yeah, and no, even back then. That's you know, the idea that conservatism is inherently unfunny is not true. It's that conservatives have abandoned the playing field of humor and narrative. I'll agree with you there. I think that they've totally run away from that.
So many.
This was just a nightmare.
Like all
too much
things
good
that
stuff.
I mean, like Ann Coulter, like even conservatives don't find her funny. Sure, she's fucked a lot of them, like including Dinesh D'Souza, but like
Bill Maher
and Ann
Bill,
Coulter fucked. Yeah,
Bill Maher and Ann Coulter fucked in college. They both went to Cornell. They've both talked about this in public. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but if I have to know it, y'all do too.
That's why he would invite her all the time to reminisce.
She literally said that Jewish people have what did she say? A point of view that's funny. I'm like, God damn! Like this is like that like good old boy like behind the scenes anti-Semitism. Like,
this is OG anti-Semitism. This is OG anti-Semitism. Yeah, it's OG shit.
It's like Cotton Hill ranked anti-Semitism.
This is like
what?
that movie School Ties with Brendan Fraser. Like this is like, yo, you're really doing it right now. They've been through a lot, so they're funny. It's like,
yeah, it's it's exploded since then.
I just, it's just so funny that Ben Shapiro thinks he's so like self-important when he's trying to call this stuff out. I'm sorry, but I hate to quote Stephen Colbert, the character, but reality has a liberal bias. Okay, the more left you are, the more in tune with reality and facts you are. I'm sorry, but we don't find racism funny. Like, we don't find bigotry funny. Okay, like y'all conservatives think that George Carlin would be on your side. No, the fuck he won't. He wouldn't. He would make fun of you guys. He always has. Like, liberal comedians are just more funny because they find other ways to be humorous. I mean, there are a lot of disabled stand-up comedians out there who joke about their disabilities, but that's because they can. And they want us to laugh at that.
One of the best stand-up bits I ever saw was Tig Notaro's "I Have Cancer."
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen that I laugh to. And like, she punches you with that laughter and the fact that you're laughing and she laughs with you. And like, that is scientific comedy. That's the marketplace of ideas. That like, that's what they're talking about. But like, yeah, this whole, God, you were touching on it so well, and I kind of like lost the point a little bit. But like, go ahead. I know some other people want to talk.
Oh, yeah. Like a comedian, like you need them to be like anti-establishment.
Yes.
Like,
you need. So sorry, I got my point. You need a comedian to tell the truth. The only way a comedian works is if you are acknowledging some sort of truth with the audience, and like, you can be like, I'm a comedian and you all came to a comedy show, and don't you want me to say the things I want to say? And don't you hate when people say I can't things I want to say, and then you can't laugh, and then I can't be funny, and then you waste your money. Yeah. Like,
that's when I boo them. Boo, say something actually funny. Also, there are comedians with cerebral palsy, who use like a cell phone or thing like to actually tell their jokes, and people laugh and love them because they're all self-deprecating. I feel like that's also another thing. You gotta make fun of yourself as a comedian and not take yourself so seriously and be so, righteous.
Yeah, and people can do that. And I've heard people who are like, have disabilities of whatever way, and they're self-deprecating and using words that I will not use on air, that like, towards themselves. And, they get to do that, and they get to make it really interesting, because ultimately, like, comedy is grounded in truth. And if you are a comedian who is trying to make, like, you're stating something as truth, and your truth is, Tony Hinchcliffe, whatever he was saying at that one weird rally that Trump had before the election, like, like Puerto Ricans are smelly or whatever the fuck, like whatever the fuck he was saying back then, like, that's not comedy. It's just like, hey, everyone else believes this, right? This is my truth, and truth is comedy, right? And then it's just like crickets to an entire arena.
Or because Brewer.
That's what happens when you're not tied into the culture.
Yeah.
Right. And like, if you're like a comedian and you're just like on, like, these guys won't make fun of Donald Trump and stuff like that. Like, they won't like you just need the comedian to be like against the shit. Like, you want your comedian to be a rebel and like talk shit about everybody. And like, you don't want your comedian to be like, a liberal or conservative or whatever. You just want them, you want your comedian to be apolitical, but like talk about politics in a way that like the average person can understand or feels. Because most people hate everybody in government.
See, do you think that after this whole experience, we've seen a lot of people, and I compared this to Luigi Mangione. No one's watching this, so whatever. I had a good Blue Sky post pop off, which makes me like inspire this to be a video, which is like, if I ran as a politician on 2 issues, and my 2 issues were
Free Luigi.
Go Luigi and fuck Epstein, I would win a Reagan level like landslide in America. And if I just refused to answer any other question and I just bullied the media anytime they tried to get me on a question, I would win the country in a like 400 seat, like 400 electoral college landslide. But like, I still believe that because I think that Republicans are stupid enough and enough people are valuable enough. And then, you can pick whether Luigi or Epstein is which side is which there, right? But, I feel that like you could convince Americans on some like really dumb, like, like attack issues, like Pavlovian response issues, and you can get to the White House because Donald Trump did it. But, I want to ask you, ceez, like your opinion, because you're tapped into a lot of these like right-wing spaces, similar to Alita I am, but like also differently than all of us in our own different ways. Because you're you're one of those Republican Latinos.
Latinx, how dare you?
You're one of those Republican Latinx anyways, do you think long term that Cenk Uygur will be able to have a beer with some of these right wingers who are like, hey, I don't trust Trump on that Epstein stuff, and maybe that makes me, anti-war and anti taking away Medicaid and anti ICE raids happening. Do you think that's actually going to happen, or do you think, like I showed earlier in the segment, like 3.5 minutes later, people like Alex Jones are going to go from puking, crying, and throwing up to like figuring out how to like make all that slobber touch Donald Trump's knob?
I mean, if Cenk goes bald and grows a goatee, then yeah, anything's possible, I guess. If he grows some facial hair for the first time. But I think that I mean, expanding on what you're saying, like I think that we also have like a very like
we do a news show,
too. Like
and
there's
what happened in the news.
Facts. Recency wise, like I mean, we all know like comedy itself, it's like a lot of times it's the art form itself is so good because it's always usually the underdog. It's never really people like in the best positions or like even Nepo babies or anything. It's always someone that's had to be an underdog and had something working against them that was able to make being funny like their mantra, or being funny the way they got into social circles or how they explained their life or dealt with their depression. That was like the culmination of it. And I think originally back in the day, even conservative comedians, I didn't realize I was consuming conservative comedy, but I thought some of those people were funny when I was younger. I was like laughing. I thought it was funny, but I think in the birth and like explosion of YouTube and Joe Rogan and like the conservative base and their consuming of media and Joe Rogan's comedian friends, largely every single one being so conservative pilled, a lot of them lacking with any semblance of talent, but every single one of them being in your face all the time, it watered down and it became so boring and timeless because they all do the same type of jokes, all the same shit to demean people of minority status or impoverished communities. It's like, okay, we get it. Like y'all are all doing the same shit. Like, sadly, people don't want to admit it. There was a time and there's times where people have found racism or racist type topics funny. People find it funny. I think people, especially whether it's from their background or pointing to the background, they can find ways where something is funny that they identify in everyday society. And these people have weaponized it to demean and bring down and come down on communities and make their lives miserable. That's taken away from the comedy of it, and that's why we've seen it like flip so bad. And now if you enjoy that shit, it's like, why do you even like that shit? It's the same old slop over and over. So this kind of shit, like someone like Ben talking about it, like, yeah, you don't get it. That's those guys have practiced in art and they figured it out. And at that time it was relevant, but also comedians have a hard time adjusting with time and adjusting with what's funny now. And when they don't, that shit is so, you catch that shit so quickly. You're like, oh, like you definitely don't get it. Like this isn't 2006 anymore, dog. Like we're not doing that anymore. Take the puppet, stop doing the fake Muslim terrorist dude. Take your hand out the fucking. Yeah, get that shit out of here. Like that's not funny. But
Ahmed.
Yeah. Like, that shit fell off.
I remember growing up watching the Blue Collar Comedy Tour guys. You know, Jeff Foxworthy, Billingwall, Larry Carey, but Ron White was the one who stood out to me because he always was not like the conservative type. Like he would make jokes about homophobes in the best way possible. Like one time he made a joke like his cousin was like, he's like, you know, this world would be so much better without all these queers. And he's like, okay, but some of us have a little bit of gay on us. And then Ron's like, I can prove it to you. And his cousin's like, fine, prove it. He was like, do you watch, you know, porn? He's like, yeah, you know, I love it. He's like, do you watch just women? He's like, no, I watch man and woman making love. He's like, okay, do you want the guy to have a flaccid penis? He's like, no, I love big heart-throbbing cock. And Ron White's like, like there are some comedians out there who've been in the game for so long that they know to go with the times. But it being some like blue collar redneck hack, it's not going to work today. It's not going to work today. You got to go with the times. And that's something that like, even like that Jim Brewer guy, because all he's got is like this stuff.
Oh, he's
like nothing else.
Yeah. I think also like, it's just different times too. Like the kind of conservative-ish comedian is different in like 2002 than it is now. Like
George Bush versus Trump is different. Like that conservative shit.
The MAGA movement is just so like it's a movement. Like it's so different. Like
I describe it like King of the Hill, as though like everyone used to think that like Hank Hill was a conservative, but like people forget that like Hank decided to like support his communist niece because George W. Bush gave Hank a limp handshake. All right, like it's just like it's little shit like that with the people that you think are the most conservative. That's like Hank Hill supported, and I'm sorry, I'm just in my like media bag, and we'll get to the Superman stuff like later on the show. But like King of the Hill, there's a reboot coming out really soon. I think that's like the most. I think King of the Hill is American anime. Like it is the best quintessential like version of what American culture is distilled as a cartoon, and like everyone's all. One of my most viral tweets was like people complaining about, oh, I hope the new King of the Hill doesn't go woke, and I'm like, did you see the old King of the Hill? Luann was a communist in 1998. Like that's not gonna work. And so like King, like Hank Hill would always say to his son Bobby, that boy ain't right. Meanwhile, his son would be a cheerleader with like fake, like, you know, stuffing his shirt with like, you know, like fake breasts and everything. And he'd be like, well, at least he's cheering for the Longhorns. I love my son. And like that's what kind of true conservatives are. They're slow to get to the game, but ultimately they love their family, their friends, their neighborhood, and they'll support them, especially if it involves their favorite sports team. So like it really does it like it's a very weird difference to all those things. I'm sorry to like overdo, but I want to segue because this is one of my favorite graphics of the year, frankly. Where in the world is Ted Cruz?
Oh yeah, Greece, right?
Oh.
So previously, as you know, in a way that I don't want to laugh about, actually, Texas has recently faced again. It's like the meme about Los Angeles, the town that always catches on fire. It's like Texas, the state that always floods and snows out, even though it's hot as shit. So that happened again. And you saw flash floods that were hitting, like, I think it's called like the Mystic River or something. It rose dozens of feet in less than an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, people don't expect that, but also, like, it's a river, you expect that. And never mind all of the, you know, disputed connections from many different people, even on the left, who are disputing this about like, okay, is this a result of the National Weather Service and the NOAA being cut recently, or is this just like, you know, climate change, which either way doesn't make Republicans look great?
Or
But,
weather
you know,
modification machines. They're destroying radars now at like local weather places now. It's crazy.
People are gonna shoot the Goodyear blimp down, thinking it's like that's Obama's weather controlling machines. But anyways, like
So
during this entire thing, Ted Cruz, governor, sorry, not governor, inshallah, not governor, but senator of Texas, was pictured on a vacation in Greece, once again abandoning his residence in the state of Texas. Now, you know, he says that this is a I could fix her. He says that this is a planned vacation that was going to be happening anyways. Again, I will give you the same reaction that I gave Karen Bass when she was just coming home from Ghana on her planned vacation over New Year's and came back to the LA wildfires. Bitch, you know what time it is. All right, like it's not new that LA gets wildfires around the new year. Figure it the fuck out. You get no excuses by being someone who is elected to keep people fucking safe when people are dying on your watch. Figure it the fuck out. I don't give a shit about any sort of excuse that any of these politicians, whether it be Karen Bass, whether it be Donald Trump, especially motherfucker Ted Cruz, on the 100+ people who have died because of his negligence, his careerism, his ignoring of climate change over all of these years. It's that's my crash out for the day. I'm done, but it's sickening. And I hate it, as you can tell.
Yeah, it's crazy because things that when it comes to weather and climate, there are well-known facts that we, even as a whole country or whole world, have agreed on, like what causes the rainfalls, what, you know, we learned about this stuff in like elementary school when learning about how the weather operates and clouds and all this stuff. We got meteorologists explaining what cloud seeding actually is, because a lot of people think that chemtrails are doing this or whatever, the weather machines, and I'm over here like, you guys are so close to getting it. We are the problem. We're causing all this. You guys are. I am. We all are. Mostly a lot of billionaires contribute to mostly. I mean, have you seen the video of Elon Musk's the factory that powers Grok? How much gas that
yeah, it's in Memphis, Tennessee. And like a part of Memphis that is like a historically black neighborhood. Yeah, and it's just like releasing methane gas every time you like at Twitter. You're like, hey,
Grok, is this true?
What does 88 mean? And then like every time you like make Grok say a
long ass thing,
more on that later. It just releases methane gas into a black neighborhood. Like every time you ask Grok, does 2 + 2 equal HH? Every single time you do that, a black kid loses like 5 years of their life to like lung cancer.
Yeah. And it's just crazy that we're seeing people not like, they're thinking that they look at the Doppler radar, which we've all known what it looks like. We've all watched, you know, whether, you know, the meteorologists go over to, they're like, right where it's like, this looks unnatural. What's going on here? I'm like, we learn what the colors of the rainfall mean. Green means a lot of rain. Yellow means a little bit more severe. Orange means very severe. And red is completely like storms. Like I don't understand how people are forgetting common knowledge that we've known for decades. And now there are people, right-wingers, going after and destroying the Doppler radars that track these storms so that people can give us updates on them. Even though like even some of like the weather apps are not accurately being like showing what the weather is like. Like I can't with the stupidity. Like that's gonna be me crashing out. Like I cannot stand the stupidity. What do you mean you completely forgot what Doppler radars represent? What do you mean you've forgotten like what a lot of rainfall does? What? Okay, someone go.
I'm personally a big fan of the Live Doppler 7000. I don't really want anybody to start shaming
The live Mega Doppler 7000 HD
I'm
Plus.
not going to sit on this
with
podcast
Dallas
if we're
Reigns,
gonna-
my boy.
Yes.
With Dallas
And
Reigns, my boy.
And Johnny Mountain. Put some respect on Johnny Mountain, my
Johnny
dog.
Mountain and Dallas Reigns.
Yeah,
we
don't
love our
disrespect the
our
Live Doppler
stereotypical LA
7000.
meteorologists.
Yes, don't disrespect Live Doppler 7000.
HD Plus.
HD Plus. That's when I was done. I was like, now they're giving me too many numbers and symbols. I'm out. Whoa, okay, what's up, y'all? No, but I do think that it's like, okay, I agree. Now, the thing is, when you become an elected official, especially in a position where you oversee cities or like oversee municipal governments or you oversee like sectors, yeah, you have people that you delegate power to handle emergency response. And yeah, you may have planned a vacation with your family, but there is a responsibility in terms of the fact that if you care about setting an image to your city about, unfortunately, hey, I really wanted to go on that vacation with you guys, but this disaster just hit and they killed 100 people in the city. I can't go to Cancun right now and sip on some Mai Tais at the beach, get my toes in the sand, which is one of the best feelings in the world. I can't do it right now. I got to go take care of this right now. And I think that if you have somebody, although we all know sacrifices are awful, but those are unfortunate sacrifices you make when you take those positions. I believe that that's there. Now, it's not a requirement, but I believe that that's there. It's inherently there. And I think that that's what people want to see. People want to see that leadership because they did put their time in to cast those votes to put you in that position, pay those taxpayer money, all that, and then they suffer and die, and then you're just chilling in Cancun. It sets a precedent that's rough. So I agree with that. Now, I'm not going to sit in doubt that some of these trips were pre-planned. I'm sure they were. But hey, maybe if you believed in a little bit of climate change, you would have known at any minute you got to be ready, my G. You got to be ready at any time, my dog, because shit ain't consistent no more out here. You should know that.
Yeah, they really be like, climate change is man-made via these weather machines. I'm like,
no, it's actually an act of God. How dare you, Kristina? It was an act of God
Yes.
that hit the flash floods. That was from the White House, the White House statement that God did. Okay.
God did that. At the risk of a secondary crash out, I just gotta tell y'all my favorite story of the year. And let me tell y'all, free Bobby Villain, fuck the BBC, fuck the UK government, my president is black and my Lambo is blue. If I were speaking in 2014. But this is my favorite news story of the year so far. Y'all are gonna have to beat this.
Have you seen
BBC News
with the cats dancing?
Close, but this is even better. BBC News. 9th of July, 2025. Fucking StreamYard is being very slow. There we go. U.S. lawmakers to write to Canada to complain that its wildfire smoke is spoiling summer. Smoke from Canadian wildfires is drifting south and making it difficult for Americans to enjoy summer, according to 6 members of Congress who said in a letter to Canada's embassy. I did it again. We write to you today on behalf of our constituents who've had to deal with a suffocating Canadian wildfire smoke filling the air to begin summer. They wrote to Ambassador Kirsten Hillman. It was signed by Tom Tiffey and Glenn Grothman of Wisconsin, Michelle Fischelbach and Brian Finstad, Pete Stoiber, and Tom Emmer of Minnesota. The Canadian embassy told the BBC that Canada takes wildfire prevention very seriously. 2 Canadians have died in this year's wildfires, and tens of thousands of others have been evacuated. Now, I don't even need to show you the article that, of course, obviously exists about the United States through Trump's big, beautiful bill, making it easier for polluting companies to continue their polluting and making it harder for green energy companies to do things as ambitious as carbon capture and as unambitious as just like putting solar panels on a fucking RV somewhere. Like, the bill is making it hard to, because the bill is making it hard to do both of that. And like you said, Kristina, America is one to talk, to be like, this wildfire is making our summer suck. The things that Canada is doing to the environment is making it difficult for America. Try India. Try anywhere in the global south where they fucking burn trash. And try that air quality. Try Sri Lanka on any given day, especially in the summer. All right? Like, we live in hell. We live in hell.
I mean, also, like, America's also talking about invading Canada and taking it over. So if you're going to have Canada be the 51st state, you might want to get used to these wildfires. But going back to those floods, I looked it up. As of right now, there's 121 people dead, and there's still 170 people missing, which I'm just like, those numbers are wild. Like, that is not what you see in America ever. Like, in a flood, like, that's what you see in India or, like Iran or something. I remember Iran had some crazy floods not that long ago. Yeah, Pinker Bay is saying it'll be 300 people by the time it's all over. Like, that is
a lot of people.
That's a lot of, that's not something you expect to happen in America, where there's a flood and 300 people die. Like, that's just not what you hear in America. Like, so it's really, like, obviously I don't live in Texas. It's really like a shame for people. Like, I wonder if there's going to be like people getting fired. Hopefully if there's anybody to blame, I don't necessarily know, but like in the state, hopefully that the right people get blamed, because this is just not normal. Like, we have the infrastructure and the technology here to be able to detect something that is going to kill 300 people, like whatever natural disaster it is. Like, when there's tornadoes, like there's a freaking Category 5 tornado, you see the whole freaking town is destroyed. 300 people do not die. Like, you see crazy hurricanes that come. I don't know how many people died in Katrina, but that's because Bush destroyed the levees. You see the crazy hurricanes and so much stuff is destroyed. 300 people don't die. Like, so it's really like a major travesty that's happened.
Yeah, and I've been looking at videos, people on TikTok uploading TikToks of what it's like living in Louisiana, and it's turned into Venice, Italy. You have to wear rain boots where you walk now. You have to probably go by boat. Like, it's because it's below sea level. And even when they were thinking of making Louisiana state, they said, do not do this, because if there's extreme weather, it's not going to survive. It's going to get flooded. It's below sea level. It's bad. But one thing
back to Los Angeles, it's like we always call it the town that always catches on fire.
Yeah. And another thing too is that the politicians are blaming the people of Texas for not evacuating. I'm like, but you didn't say anything for them to evacuate. You didn't do your job to protect the people who voted for you. Like, I know a lot of people say you should have sympathy for these people. I don't. I do not have sympathy for the adults. I have sympathy for the kids, because they didn't vote for this. They did not ask for this. Their parents are responsible for why they're missing or dead.
Hot take.
Damn, hot take as fuck.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, damn.
Don DeMarco.
Yeah, fuck Master Flex.
I don't give a fuck. You murdered your kids. Okay.
I will say that the coverage I heard about this, the two things I heard is, number one, I think it was 2016. State official or city officials did vote against a siren-based emergency disaster response. That was something to vote against based upon it be costing $60,000 or something, or some amount of money that they felt was way too expensive. That obviously is a different discussion. It is what it is. They're going to live with that regret. I mean, as much as emergency protocols, it would have been nice if the state would have stepped in and maybe subsidized or helped out the city, to implement this, especially in a place with prevalent flooding in the past.
Yeah.
That's
what Israel does. When they get warned of Hamas or whatever attacking, they warn their citizens like, oh, there's they get like a texting alert, like, go into hiding.
Now, they unfortunately they did have a response system that went to text
blue alerts. Hit them with the blue alerts.
They hit them with the text messages. Now, unfortunately, those messages came in at 3:30 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. Just like you and me, y'all, we swear up and down that shit is not getting checked. It's getting ignored. And unfortunately with that, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not trying to give the state or the city any kind of credit for this, but clearly the systems they had were bad. They, by their own decisions, by leadership decisions, this was a fault of leadership. This is a fault of people who oversee safety and disaster response. It was them to make it incumbent on passing a disaster system, and now people are to pay the price. It's always what happens when administrators don't uphold these things. The people end up are the only ones that pay the price in this, and that's with the death. The deaths are terrible, and the toll's going to rise. But it was crazy to hear the breakdown of how things led to it. It was like hearing the OceanGate disaster, where you skirted all the regulations, and now look, people died as a result of it. So, and unfortunately, this happened again, and that shit is tragic. And 300 people dying, I guess that used to be a crazy number. I guess people are just chill with that now. That's fucking crazy to me. 300 people is a crazy number.
Yeah, that OceanGate thing. When I watched both those documentaries, they let that thing out in the cold in Newfoundland for like 6 months it was cracking and leaking and expanding, and then they went on that faithful, trip. And
my opinion on OceanGate is let them fight, but like the
space,
and by let them I mean the plankton. But like, what I really mean to say though is, like, one thing I was reading, and like, this is, at this point, it's social media in 2025, so like, take it with a grain of salt, and I will at least admit that that's what we're doing here. But apparently one issue is that Texas is one of these states that has this like thing called a blue alert. And like, if you have a phone of any sort of kind, like a Android, iPhone, whatever, you get emergency response alerts. So maybe these can be like, oh, there's an earthquake in your area. Oh, there's a like severe storm in your area. They could be like there's a silver alert for an elderly person, or someone who is not fully mentally well, but they're like, around and lost and not being accounted for. Like, we'll put out an alert for that. Yeah, Texas has blue alerts, which means anytime a cop is killed, every time that happens, everyone in Texas gets an alert on their phone about the suspect and who they are and what their license plate is and what their mugshot is and like what that, like.
What about for regular crimes, not just killing cops?
What about for how about for when cops kill civilians?
Yeah.
Like how come that's not a blue alert, right? Like, hey, we got the badge number of this cop who just like killed a civilian, and like he's on desk duty, but the streets will do their thing, right? But the article that I was reading was that like part of the issue was that like Texas went so hard on these blue alert things that ultimately didn't mean much to a lot of people, that people got fatigued from receiving these alerts. They turned them off of their phone completely.
Because they're annoying.
And that also end up turning off the emergency alerts that would have told you that a flood was coming. So when you treat like, a natural disaster to the same level as you treat like a killer cop getting shot at, and you choose to alert people's phones for both things, then again, once again, I'm not even going to apply liberal, what's it called? Like, racial equity theory, or like CRT, like I'm not even gonna apply to that. It's just like, I'm sick of receiving these alerts on my phone for these cops I don't care about anyways. All the alerts go off. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna send my daughter to summer camp. Okay, all right. Oh, I don't get the alert that she's dead now.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate this entire system. I'm gonna do something like, I'm gonna call my senator. Sorry, the number you have reached is in Athens, not Georgia, but in Greece.
Greece,
bitch. I think crash out moments if I were in Texas right now. And I'm not encouraging people to do whatever you want to do in Texas, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
I get it.
It definitely makes sense. I mean, we all understand how much notifications, spam, messages we get consistently. We use our phones as a primary source of media and communication all the time. So when that's also being overrun, which I'm not saying this to demean or talk against any kind of victims of the Amber Alerts we get right now, it feels like an overconsumption. It feels overwhelming. It's intrusive a lot of times. And a lot of times it feels like people are like receiving alerts for something where it's like a small fish in like a large ocean where you're trying to find this resource. And yeah, it may be a good means to find help for somebody, but for the other 13 million people living in a city or whatever, 10 million, it can be intrusive. The wider issue is like I was living in Hawaii when the alerts went off for the missiles, the fake missile strike that was happening from North Korea. I think that
damn it, wish you got nuked.
The big, a lot of people did, but I think the big difference is that it wasn't about the phone alert that made it a major issue. It was hearing the sirens outside. You know, that's not a everyday occurrence where we live in whatever city you're in. We're not getting sirens on the regular. So unless you live in like hurricane zone, you're probably getting a lot. But like,
or Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, no, they still didn't get there either. But in the movie, 1957, you're right. But I think. The thing is, like, that was the critical error. Regardless of all the systems you could do to update, and you're sending a blue alerts and yellow alerts, whatever the hell on the phone, there's still the OG siren hits different than anything else.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, you're waking up, your neighbor's waking up. Yo, this is not a joke right now. And that would have definitely at least saved a larger percentage of the people that unfortunately have passed away, including the camp counselor and those kids on that camp, which is one of the most horrific stories ever to hear. I feel so bad for them kids.
But also, like, there's just something about, like, I don't know why, but it's like something about them not getting warned. Because I remember here a couple years ago, we had here in Southern California, Hurricane Hillary, which was like, not even that crazy. It was August. I want to say it was 2023. It was the same.
ceez remembers.
It was the same year that Barbie movie came out. But it was August, and it was like we knew about it for a few days before. Like, we're gonna get some hard rains, and then they're saying that it's a hurricane, and they named it Hillary. It ended up coming. Some places got a little bit worse than others. But like, we knew about it for like damn near a week before. So I'm like, this rain, this torrential rain, perfect storm that happened in Central Texas, how come they didn't know about it?
Well,
like, we have
talk about defunding the meteorologists. The defunding of those programs and technological systems is going to be a big issue. And I'm not trying to laugh about it, but this took me back to when that moment happened. Bam, do you remember the conversation we had on the phone? I was in Hawaii and I said to you, like, oh, if something's going down, can I just buy a ticket real quick and dip? He was like, nah, dog, if they're sending a missile, you're just there. Like, there's no flights out. I remember hearing that on the phone and being like, wait, what?
Well, this reminds me like 20
fun no more.
This reminds me of like 20 years ago when we were in Alabama with visiting my aunt and uncle and cousins, and we were leaving. We got my Uma's cat Fritzy, who ended up being a cat from hell, orange cat, of course. And we were hearing the sirens, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, and my mom's like outside, like, this is great. I'm like, and I told her, I'm like, when Aiken gets a tornado, you're going to be petrified with fear. And she was. 4 years later, we got an actual hurricane. It was, I mean, not hurricane, a tornado. It was everywhere, but like where my Uma was. And you would think because of how her place is more rural, we were expecting storms but it was clear sky and sunshine, and we didn't even lose power. I was like, oh, thank you. I was holding my Uma's rosary the whole time. But the tornado was behind where our house where my mom was at, and she was like, I never want to see one of those again. And I'm like, yeah. And then one year it was like 3:00 in the morning, and we hear it's like a train going by, and I'm like, there was a tornado like down the road from us, and it barely missed us. And with Hurricane Helene, we were not expecting her to move to the left. See, besides North Carolina, the Augusta-Aiken area where I live got the worst of it. And we're still recovering after like almost a year. Like,
I remember you didn't have internet for like a couple of weeks.
It was. I was dying. I was like,
But you guys got warnings for that though.
Yeah, we did. We got warnings. Once the meteorologist knows that it was turning, they're like, okay, guys, if you want to evacuate. Do what you gotta do. And I'm over here like, we're upstairs, we're fine. All of our stuff's underground. If it's bad, whatever. And also too, we would help each other out as a community in these apartment complexes anyway. But man, when the power came back on, everyone had their windows open because air. And everyone was like, woohoo! Celebrate. We were celebrating, having a barbecue. It was fun. But that's times where community needs to help each other out. If no one else is going to. That's in my opinion, the important lesson of this all. But unfortunately, the powers that be who can warn those didn't. At least, if you're warned ahead of time, community can get together and figure something out. Evacuate, help people, have shelters in place ready. Stuff like that is always key. Because since we're so far inland, most hurricanes hit Beaufort and Charleston and Myrtle Beach, we always have schools and places open, the YMCA open for evacuees. But this time we were the evacuees, and we were like, where the fuck do we go?
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully it's a crazy situation there in Texas. It's once again 300 people, or I mean, it's not 300 yet, but it's looking like it's going to be 300 people. That's just not that is. I really hope that doesn't become the new normal for natural disasters. 300 people died. Because, you just don't hear that here. That's Indian numbers. Sorry.
And it's outdated. It's supposed to be with updated technology. Response is supposed to be faster. Response times are supposed to be quicker. Communications go out quicker. Something's going wrong if something's being held up there. And I don't want people, dying as a result of this bullshit, honestly.
Folks, do we remember this?
Right.
The high state of awareness or whatever it's called. Oh god, the heightened state of awareness is what we
I remember I used to be like, what we at today?
You have it on the
TV.
And MSNBC, they just have it on the crowd.
Well,
you YNs don't know what we're talking about right now.
They really kept us on our toes.
That's when Homeland Security's go crazy.
Yeah, we're like, wait, what? We're under attack? When?
I know. Hey, dog, can we go on the playground? Are we on a blue or a yellow? Hey, yo, dog, I heard we last week was on a yellow, so I'm not sure we supposed to go on the monkey bars. The Iraqis might hit us with them weapons of mass destruction. Colin Powell was talking about.
It's funny.
Real conversations.
Real
conversations I was having in third grade. Not at all.
Yeah. No, I actually have a cousin who lives in Long Island, and she wants to move to Texas. One thing is she's kind of Republican, but she has mixed race.
You didn't
kids.
have to tell us.
I know, but she ripped off my aunt, her mom, for money to get whatever. It's just my sister and I are the only good grandkids and kids in general that treat our parents right. But we're like, why? You have mixed race kids. Every time she comes out to South Carolina, she gets judged, which is crazy.
Well, Texas does have the most black people out of any state, so she might be all right.
She might be all right. It's just so funny. One time, my cousin, my sister went to a pizza joint with the kids, and I guess they assumed that my sister and cousin were a lesbian couple with that adopted 2 kids, and so they were getting the stink eye from everyone in 2009. But still, it's you don't want to move to Texas. It's just as expensive. It's not cheap to live in Texas.
Well, I guess it depends on where.
Yeah, she wants to live in the expensive cities. I'm
if she lives in Wichita Falls, that shit gonna be real cheap.
Yeah.
Not Austin.
But she just got a new place, so it's you stay where you are. You're fine. You got your life settled here. I want to move to New York City. Hopefully, we'll make that happen in a few years.
I mean, Long Island might be more racist than anywhere in Texas. Damn near. Who knows?
Wow.
Dan, let us know.
Yeah, Dan. Long Island Dan.
Can confirm. Me and my other brown friend were on Long Island, and the further we went, and just this past June, the further we went, the less comfortable we were. And so we just drove back, and then we got a quick coffee, and then we bum rushed it back to New York City. Thank you, Mustang.
You got to you got to Montauk, and you were like, let's turn around.
Once I hit that Ron Konkoma, we gotta get out. No. Once
See,
I'm like,
'cause
oh, this is where the beer comes from. Okay, shit.
I thought it was strange that like Mamdani was doing well, like where in Staten Island or something like that. Like I'm like, what are the white boys coming out from Mamdani? Like, because I remember Hassan going over like the statistics in like some of those like more like white areas, and I'm like, what's happening?
Staten Island's is like
I thought that was like Cop
a
City.
wash. Staten Island's a wash. I mean, like no. Like areas of New Jersey and like Westchester and like upstate New York, as far as that goes, are like really Cop City. Most of the cops can't even afford to live on Long Island anymore. But yeah, Mamdani and I, you know, this is gonna be like a Bam and I conversation in a couple of weeks, but like there is a unstoppable force and immovable object conversation happening with like the left and black people that Zoran Mamdani is about to hit. Like he's gonna hit the wall like a brick, and he's not gonna go through it until some things happen. I think FD Signifier did a great story on this, but like this is not that conversation. More on that later.
Yeah, he needs to do what Cuomo did. I am black. I am Jewish. I am this. I am that. He'll definitely get the votes he needs.
No, I mean like he needs to actually like, you know, show up in Little Haiti. He needs to like actually show up and listen. No, I'm gonna stop myself because otherwise it's gonna be a back.
I understand what you're saying. I knew where you were going with that, Dan.
Yeah. Like Zoran has some work to do. I'm not saying that I don't like him. I'm just saying that like I know why he lost the black vote, and he has some work to do. And part of that is also the very monoculture DSA in New York City that I experienced even just a couple weeks I was there. They have some work to do as well. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Can we have fun and joke about Elon Musk a little bit?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Let's get that African.
The real African.
The real African American. He's more African American than anyone on the show here. So here's the deal, and like I'm not even gonna like show any clips here, but like that's the story.
We're gonna talk about the Grok thing.
I'm gonna talk about many of the Grok things, but like breaking news: Grok 4. Now with more of everything that made the Ford Motor Company and Volkswagen so popular in the 1930s, Grok 4 is now going to be inside of Tesla vehicles. So Shut up. I swear to God. Shut
up.
So Elon Musk announced an update, and you know, it's Elon Musk, so it could come tomorrow. It could come in like 4 months. It doesn't matter.
Oh, Linda Yakarina, whatever her name is, also resigned because the Grok was.
Thank you, Kristina. More on that later. So
support for Will Stansel, by the way.
TLDR. Grok says slurs on Twitter. Sorry.
Sorry. Fantasies too.
More on that immediately.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna throw up. I'll be honest. No. But okay. So step one, Elon Musk says, Grok is too woke. We're going to change some things. Remember, kids, this is going to be important later. Point two, Elon Musk changes some things. It immediately goes full Kanye West 2025. Like it's full, like in the gimp suit yelling, I love him. That guy, right? Like it goes full that.
Immediately too. I think he was typing up the responses as Grok.
Point three, it continues going even deeper, going like, oh, you know them Scheinbergs, typical of those last names, am I right? Like, I wish I was kidding. It was actually saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, never mind that Donald Trump just last week said that like you can't trust those Shylocks who are handling the banks. Like let's just again, like he's not the anti-Semite. People who are protesting for Palestine
say about that too. Just a slap on the wrist, like, oh, it was problematic, but compared to what Hassan Piker says.
More on that. we're stacking up so many more on that later that I'm never going to get to all of them. But anyways, we're going to keep going. Then Linda Yaccarino, who was the former ad executive at CNBC, in the words of Bill Maher, my old job. And she decides to leave because she's like, okay. The fourth Nazi scandal at Twitter is where I'm going to tap the brakes. That's where I'm going to say that it's enough. Then that same night, Elon Musk goes onto stage and says, we have just released Grok 4. It's bigger, better, and more badass. It's going to solve physics problems that have never existed before. It's going to say things that the H-Man, big 1488 Fourth Reich himself could never have imagined. And by the way, it's going to be in every single Tesla car next week.
Dan, I don't believe you. There's no way, dude. Dan, there's
tape. Let's do it.
What
Tesla
was
Grok update?
Does he have, do you have neighbors? Holy shit, you're awesome. Holy shit.
My neighbors have put me. My neighbors have put me through worse over the past week. So fuck them.
What was that roll tape?
Reuters. Roll tape. Grok AI to be available in Tesla vehicles next week.
No, thank
This
you.
is wild.
Grok AI will be available in Tesla vehicles next week at the latest, according to Elon Musk and a Grok post on Thursday. It's Grok 4. While Musk said earlier vehicles would be equipped with Grok, the billionaire had not shed a timeline. Yeah, you know, the AI chatbot has been in hot water for many different reasons. But yeah, everyone is reporting that Grok is going to be... So if you used to call it the swastika before, hold your fire, wait for that update, and then release your fire.
Yeah.
Right! No.
That's crazy. I mean, it'll be really funny if people are really literally driving around and are like, hey, Grok, where's the nearest McDonald's? Fuck you, you cut. No,
yeah. Be like, actually, no, the majority of the staff there are of color, so we will find an alternative to McDonald's for you.
Why is this? Why can I see the air conditioning coming out of the vent, Grok? Why is this white gas coming out of the vent, Grok?
The air is pure as German snow in the Tesla. We will not go to McDonald's. We will only go to Wiener Schnitzel.
I love a Wiener Schnitzel. I'm German. It's good food.
Delicious.
Now, Caesar wanted to get a Tesla as late as a couple years ago.
What'd you say? What was the year?
As late as January 2025.
That's not true. That's not true. He can bring interest down to. He could give me interest, and would they pay me to have it? I still wouldn't get one.
You sure about the Roadster? Sure about the Roadster?
Never coming out.
That shit, I don't want none of that shit. That shit whack. I don't want a car with an iPad in the middle. It's just dumb.
Says the EV9 owner.
Wait, what? There's a screen in the front.
Anyways,
fun here.
Yeah. So yeah, Linda Yaccarino. Sorry, I'm trying to get to like one of my 7 more than that later.
Yes.
So yeah, Linda Yaccarino, who was, and
the Yak Queen.
I'm too much of yakety yak. Don't talk back. I'm too much of a leftist to be like. There's a consistent trend, especially in big tech, but also in business whatsoever, where you make the woman the CEO just to like allow them to fail, and then they get their knock on their resume, they get to leave, and then a white man comes and straightens things out. Like, that is a tale as old as time. But the fact that Linda Yaccarino was willing to be the fall girl, that like she was willing to be the Yas Queen to Elon Musk's "can I impregnate you and give you a horse" style of management,
Yeah.
Remind you, that's literally was his game with the CEO of Neuralink, one of his other companies. Was like, hey, can I impregnate you and give you a horse? And that shit worked.
Oh God.
The CEO of Neuralink has one of Elon Musk's babies. Okay, so like, I'm not putting nothing past the yak daddy. Okay. That being said, tell me what happened to that mural on top of the San Francisco headquarters. Anyways, no. Tell me, like, Elon Musk is obviously toxic. Like, he was controlling everything Linda Yaccarino was doing. I can't wait. Like, I hate these people so much. But Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway on the Pivot podcast are gonna have such a good take off to this because, like, they are big tech bros and they have like literal. Whenever Kara Swisher talks shit on Elon Musk on that podcast, Elon Musk texts her live while she's recording it, being like, "Oh, you're wrong about da 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 da," and she's like, "Fuck you, I don't care, you pathetic little person."
Yeah, but with the Linda Yaccarino thing is that what happened is that, and she's not the only one to deal with this stuff. But a lot of people are asking Grok, like, how can I rape this person in great detail? How can I break into this person's home and do this to them? And they go into great detail about what they can do.
Yeah, Grok will go into
like paragraphs,
grapefruit fantasies about male and female journalists who happen to disagree with Elon Musk.
Yeah. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. When I saw that, I'm like, she immediately stepped down after that too. Like, there's no way that she was planning on doing this for like weeks.
Oh yeah, because once she saw the prompts coming in that are like, show me the CEO of Twitter or X covered in glue on her face, she was like, I'm out. I pull the chute. We're done. Thanks for playing. We're no longer taking the shit, as she should.
Yeah.
Because that's disrespectful.
Yeah, and it's just, it's critical support for Will Stancil right now because he did the same thing. He's suing them, rightfully so. If anyone, it should be just one giant like class action like lawsuit because that's disturbing. Like, we've gotten to a point where conservatives don't have any sympathy or empathy when certain things happen, like when Democrats get assassinated while in office, or even like this stuff where they ask Grok to do like rape fantasies and ends up polluting the planet on top of that. So it's just. When I saw that, and also too, they keep deleting the Grok messages now. They keep deleting everything that Grok tweets when it comes to like, hey, can you like do this like rape fantasy for me? I want to see how this goes. Like shit like that. And they're automatically like Elon's like getting that shit deleted right away. And I'm like,
it's not necessarily like that Elon Musk's or like XAI or Grok is the only AI platform that's at fault like this. Like, this is the issue when you decide to let tech bros take over the universe and especially take over social interaction, because you get things like Mark Zuckerberg saying, oh, well, the ultimate idea of Meta and Facebook as a platform is for us to use AI to replace your friends. Like when you get shit like that, when you get Peter Thiel, like literally like lizard person going like, well, yeah, I give up on the human race. Let's just
that video is crazy.
Nuke them all and start over.
One of the
like,
craziest videos.
Once you get to that, like if you can't make your case on tax the billionaires on there, then you're fundamentally incapable and untalented as a political communicator. Like fundamentally, because this is the rich people have gotten so high on their own hog that they honestly think that they can run society and dictate society does stuff like this. Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, I think that I obviously, apart from the sustainability aspect, I wish AI programs that was much more sustainable for the environment. Obviously, I wish that more than anybody.
And they're used for better purposes too, like for good.
Yeah, I think that the OG like young tech bro ceez was wishing and hoping and still hopes for new technology like AI to be able to optimize workplace stuff, like really mundane workplace practices, just simplifying your life in those aspects, whether it's like communication via email or whatever through work or optimizing like spreadsheets and stuff like that. If that's what AI is taking away functions of you having to do the dumbest functions ever, that's great. That's awesome. Because that shit is boring as hell. So let's make that real easy now. But the fact that it's being used to propagate, I feel like that lip brain where I'm like, I can't imagine being 13, just getting on the internet, or now it's probably like 7 years old, getting on the internet, and you're just on Twitter, just reading the craziest mecha Hitler shit ever. When I thought that the shit I was hearing in Call of Duty was wild, and then the first time I got on Twitter was wild. They're going like we used to talk about how crazy QAnon and those websites and shit were before. That shit is just there now. That shit is dead ass.
If I can give you honestly,
forefront.
Honestly, ceez, if I can give you like 1 minute of Uncle Dan here.
Oh boy.
These like 13-year-olds out here are not ready for the type of racism we were throwing down back in them Xbox Live.
I disagree. I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
No. Like
I was in that shit. I was on.
And I wasn't.
They called a monkey all day. I mean, it is what it is.
No. But here's the deal. Like, right? Like, and again, not to invoke King of the Hill too much, but one of the running jokes in King of the Hill was that there was an Asian neighbor who moved in, and everyone on the block, like all the main characters, were like, oh, he's Chinese. No, he's Japanese. And he was like, no, I'm neither. I'm from a different country. And then Hank Hill's dad, the most racist person who fought in the Korean War, who always brags about, I killed 50 men. He looks him down and up once and twice and goes, nah, he ain't Japanese. He's Laotian. Ain't you, Mr. Khan? And Khan, like, it's one of the rare times in King of the Hill a character breaks the fourth wall. Khan looks straight in the camera and goes, oh, shit. That's the first person in the entire show to correctly recognize me. That there is ranked racism, okay? Mm-hmm. Ranked racism is what ceez and I and Bam and Kristina experience in gaming in, like, the 2000s and early 2010s. All right, like that is studied racism. That is understanding how to be racist into different cultures without AI. All right, like I'm not saying it's good racism. I'm just saying they did their homework. All right.
Well, Bam's off the dome.
What we're getting. Some people are born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline, but what we're getting right now is like this. It's like it's pathetic racism. It's like it's edgelord racism. It's oh, well, I learned from somebody else that if you say this word in the comment section randomly, that you're going to get people upset. And it's like, dude, that doesn't get me upset because we know what you're doing. Like, we know you're a 13-year-old who's not about that life, who like created a burner Instagram account because that's the only thing you feel in your life because your parents are mid-divorce. All right. Like, we know that's your life. So we know that you're not about that racism. Like, old racism, like and Mona rightfully says, what is good racism? None. But I'm saying like there was a level of banter like within old Xbox Live servers that was like it was vile and it was fucked up and it was a bunch of like screechy ass white kids yelling slurs at you. But it was like there was like a kind of mutual understanding of being like, oh, we're not gonna like nothing's going to come of this. We are now in the like the point is that we are now in the world where like the dumbest racists have political power. Like the ones who I'll get into this a little bit later, but the ones who like can't even name countries right and they're like, "Oh, Zoran Mamdani is like we're back at Obama. Like Zoran Mamdani is brown, therefore he's a Muslim, therefore he's a socialist, therefore he's Kenyan or Ugandan, even though he's not, and he lied on his like college application form, according to the Nazi who reported to the New York Times. I'm
like, he did not grow up in Uganda. He moved out there when he was like 7. He grew up in New York City.
Well, like the thing about
I'm gonna defend him on that, but I'll get there. I'm gonna defend him on the college application.
No. Ceez, go off. Ceez, go off.
I'm gonna defend him.
I'm gonna defend him too, but I think you can do it as well.
He wanted to be transparent.
It must be real easy to just go in there and click what you are. But I think when you have some different backgrounds, I'm not saying obviously that he's like, oh, I'm a black man. But when you go into the paper, it says, oh, he's looking at it, he's like, oh, I was born. He's like, well, I was born in Africa, so I'm gonna bubble this shit in right here. Okay, and I was born here. All right, bubble this shit here. Those demographic, racist ass, stupid ass, fucking standardized test questions. It's like I'm answering this question about like things I've studied. What the hell? What the hell's what do you know my race? That's your immediate. That's your immediate thought when you're younger. You're like, all right, fuck, I'm gonna put what I want.
Not only is Zoran was born in Uganda, and like his father and his family on that side have lived in Uganda for years, and his father's an African studies major, but my dad's an African American studies major, and he's basically Uncle Ruckus. So that doesn't matter necessarily, but like there was this whole sort of like movement in Uganda to be like a sort of like a denationalization of being like, okay, Uganda is a multicultural society. So if you're like ethnically, Ugandan or whatever, or you immigrated there because of your family, like Zoran Mamdani's like apparently his family on his dad's side had lived there 100 years before Zoran was born and then moved to the United States. Like there's a whole movement of people there who are trying to like push the multiculturalism of Uganda, apparently. So like, this goes back to the fact that like the way Americans classify race is just stupid. Like it's just fundamentally dumb.
Or any form of bigotry, because like I would get like comments, transvesticate me like, what are you? And I'm like, I'm a dumbass Twitch streamer. They're like, yeah, but what are you? Are you a dude? I'm like, you see a woman with short hair, and I automatically think, dude, have you ever heard of a pixie cut or women having short hair at all? Where were you in the 1920s and 30s during the flapper era?
Go ahead, Bam.
Bam, yeah.
May I push back on the Mamdani African American?
No,
you may not.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, but what are you gonna say though?
Okay, chill.
I'm gonna mute myself just so Bam can speak freely.
Kristina? No, I'm joking. I like the Indian people in Uganda. Like, I don't know if they're calling themselves African in Uganda. Like, I don't think that they are. Like, I think they're referring to themselves as Indian. And they see themselves different than like for them, like African is the black people there. So I'm not really thinking like I don't know why he did it. Like, I don't know if whatever he did it was going to be a benefit to him or not. Like, I don't know. But like, I don't think that he or his parents look at themselves as African, because they still have like the Indian culture there in Uganda, just like in South Africa. Like, there's a lot of Indian people, there's a lot of Desi people in general, but like they're still like Indian though. Like it's a little different.
I mean, also let's keep it very real here. I know it's easy to point at these things in the past, and now that you're in a position of importance and power, and then Fox News publishes this, and it's like, oh, this is a serious thing to break down. What is this guy doing? Come on, like, I mean, what? The guy's applying to like fucking NYU or something, and they're getting a demographic score for SAT tests. Mind you, the SAT scores he got like plus 700s in both category. If anything, I mean, that's he did crazy numbers on his SAT, and it's not like the guy was tanking on purpose to make. It wasn't like he did great. His scores are great, which is not a relevant point.
Yeah,
to that,
I don't understand why the controversy. I'm like, are you saying he's smart?
If someone's 19, 18 or whatever,
my score sucks, so maybe if I mark myself as black, then they'll like, compensate for the fact that my scores were basically perfect.
Yeah, of course you should think about the ramifications of the future of someone looking at this paper and thinking it. But when you're 18, you're not thinking about, oh, someone going to critically review this when I try to run for NYC mayor? Of course not. So someone like me looks at an exam. I'm not saying I'm in the same situation, but I see 4 results. Am I white? Am I Hispanic? Am I black? Or am I Asian? Now we're just playing a game here of which one do I want to bubble in for funsies. So I think it's really, it can be confusing. America's been really shitty at this. America loves to put people pigeonholed to different racial groups and deem them as they feel like it. Of course, I'm sure Mamdani's family is not, in Uganda saying that, were Ugandan as well. I'm sure they identify themselves as Indian. I don't know them, but maybe. I mean, his dad's African American studies. Maybe his dad kind of goes hard. I don't know. I don't know his family, and that's not even the point. But I'm like, I think it's funny that the only reason this is even becoming a conversation point is because those people, the bad actors, brought that as the forefront of the conversation, rather than the forefront of the conversation being about the results of test score and how they performed as a person and their aptitude. It's like we're criticizing someone what they bubbled in when they're 18. Let's really start breaking down what people are bubbling and doing when they're 18, because that's like, to me, it's irrelevant to what has to do now with him running for NYC mayor.
No, I agree. I agree, but like I agree with that. Like it's not important, but like I can defend it if he was just being silly, but it's like I still like the history of.
Did you hear his comments on it?
I'm sorry.
Did you hear his comments on it? I don't know his feelings on it or his comments.
No,
on it.
I don't know either. But like
I heard him.
What did he say?
He said like kind of like what he's doing with the with the frustration of like, you know, he's like, I'm technically so many different things. I wanted to be as transparent as possible, you know. So it didn't seem like he was like, he didn't feel like, I mean, he was young, but he didn't feel like he wanted to lie. Like he says that there's more to him than that. But I do agree. I feel like we talked about this before. He's more, he identifies more as a New Yorker than probably anything else. But his culture still runs deep within him. But he doesn't really make that as the forefront of his personality because he knows what the right wing is going to do. I mean,
also, he walks down the street in New York and like he's going to be clocked as South Asian, no contest. Like,
yeah, and in Uganda too.
But like also like, you know, like college is the time when you start to like experiment with like different expressions of yourself, and like I would probably identify myself as Black, even though in college I was like flexing the fact that I am extremely mixed and was, you know, enjoying that thing. And like I know I still respect like the other cultures I have in myself, but like, you know, being like 10 years removed from when I was in college, I definitely, you know, act in a different way in the world, like knowing certain different things. So, you know, like I ultimately like, first of all, the source of this was the New York Times. Second of all, the source that they got was a right-wing like neo-Nazi who like hates Muslims and hates Black people. Third of all, the source that he got all this from was a hack from right-wingers who are trying to prove that Columbia had some like racial bias in their admittance. So like I also hold that context within this entire argument of like, I mean, like that context, and also really quickly, like I must have some fucking deja vu or something, but I remember like fucking less than a year ago, fucking exactly a year ago, maybe like 10 months ago, 11 months ago, whatever, like pulling my Sam Cedar, like I don't know if it was 6 months ago or 9 months ago or 12 months ago, but like, you know, the whole idea is that we were having this conversation about Kamala Harris, that like Black people were like, oh, she was saying that she was South Asian all of a sudden. Now all of a sudden she says she's Black. I don't believe her. And it's like,
that was the thing.
Yeah, but they weren't lying though.
No. I mean, like, so, like, there's nuance, but also, like, I will say this just as experience as a mixed person. Like, there is a lot of, like, race is a stupid thing, full stop, first level. Second level, race is a stupid thing, full stop. Third level, Americans, and you know, I won't even say especially, because, like, white people got this too, but, like, people of color in America have internalized the racial structures that America has given them, such to the point that you will have Black people who will look at a woman like Kamala Harris and be like, you're not Black, you're Indian. Oh, you told me that that your father's Jamaican and your mom is Indian? Sorry, you're Indian. Like, that was a whole myth. And, like, yeah, you had conservatives and, like, white conservatives who were doing that in bad faith, but that worked on the barbershop circuit. And, like, that's a whole different thing to, like, and that goes to the fact of, like, my unpopular take with, like, all of my white leftist fans who are, like, loving Zoran Mamdani right now. I'm like, listen, you are about to hit a brick wall, and it's fine if you hit that brick wall. In fact, I hope y'all hit that brick wall in July of 2025.
Right.
Because if you hit that brick wall in October, you're fucked. You've got to realize, like, what Zoran has to get through to get to that, like, quote unquote impenetrable wall of like black and brown folks who voted for Cuomo or who like will vote for Adams. And you've got to convince them that like Zoran is for their interests, and like Zoran has got to do that, but also there's like got to be, you know, I will take FD Signifier's take on this recently, which is that there are going to be some white leftists that need to shut up, and there are going to be some black leftists who need to like me, needs to suck it up and start going to some churches. And so have to like, you know, do politics that way and like start to like, okay, reach out to the elders who are a little bit scary of socialism and don't trust, like, you know.
Yes, it's always the older black voters, and knowing Jim Clyburn, you know, a lot of older black voters will do whatever he says, or just they know they're more comfortable with someone who's older and not as scary. And that's what a lot of my fellow black leftists like to say, that they're like, you know, the Democratic Party needs to figure out a way to include young people of color in the mix because they're voting more left leaning than elder African American Democratic voters, and it's sad that they'll follow that, you know. But
y'all freeze. I guess it's me. Oh,
yeah, you froze for a second there. But I also too. You know, also, I got a quick little funny story. When I was younger, I always, you know, always checked white because I was white. And they're like, why are you cooking white? I'm like, because I'm white. They're like, nah, you're mixed. I'm like, no, I'm not mixed. They're like, your hair. I'm like, I got it from the milkman. What? I'm like, no. And this was like, you know, like black kids saying this to me. I'm like, nope, I'm white. Give it a few years. I don't tan anymore. As soon as I go outside, my skin feels like it's on fire now. Like that's how I'm staying young, is staying out of the sun. I was flattered though. I'm like, thank you for thinking that I'm, yeah.
Well, there are some black people that look like you, aka Halsey.
Yeah.
But
Seinfeld apparently too, if you watch Sinners.
Right. But I'll say this, like, I think that, well, I want to say two things, Dan. Like when you mentioned like race constructs in America, like it's not just America, like these things exist in Africa as well. The British brought, Dan left. He said, fuck you, Dan. The British brought Indian people to Uganda, Kenya, and like gave them a higher social status, and that created a lot of tension. Same thing happened in South Africa, to the extent where like not even that long ago, like this happens like every once in a while. There'll be like riots in the street between black South Africans and South Africans of Indian descent, like rioting, like killing each other in the street because of the racial tension and like the tension from status, from leftover from apartheid. But I think that there's also like trying to understand these things when it comes to like voters or whatever. Like, like most voters are not sophisticated voters. So like, I don't necessarily expect like the black voter, old or young, to be like very sophisticated. And I think, and I know Caesar can attest to this too. Like as a black person in America, you don't feel like safe from racism from all people of color. Like actually, like you feel like you're going to feel like a lot of people of color are going to be more racist towards you than white people. Like, and that's just a fact. Like, I don't necessarily think if I see an Indian person that they're not racist. Like, probably, like, I was in the Muslim community for 10 years. Like, that's just racist as fuck. Like, there's all people of color. And, like, I would feel more comfortable around white people than, like, fobs. Like, so I think that...
To quote noted non-racist towards a black people person, Ice Cube, black police show out for the white cop. Well, and like I think there's layers there, like to what Ice Cube said, but also Ice Cube is one of those people who's like expresses. I would be more comfortable around like my closest white friends than I would be around Ice Cube.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like, because most voters are not sophisticated, like, and there's been so much conflict in this country between like, you know, I mean, you look at what happened in LA, I want to say in the 90s, like that Korean store clerk killed that little girl. There's there can be a lot of tension between communities of color, especially when it's like Asian, Indian against Black people. Like there is a lot of vitriol and racism from, especially like first generation, second generation people of color from different parts of the world. When they get to America, like they're looking at Black people as lower class too. So like you're saying, Dan, like I don't know if that's the case or what's going on with the Black voter in New York. Like I have no idea, but he may hit a wall. Like he definitely has some work to do, because it can be the case that a Black person is uncomfortable with the idea of this Indian person or Asian person because of the racism that they face from these people. Like and not like, obviously not like a systematic racism, but like the in-person racism and shit. Like the actual like in your face racism that this person may have never even felt from a white person. They might be like, well, damn dude, like this person is acting real, like really racist. Like the whitey ain't even doing that to me. So yeah, like for sure, like especially fobs. We were saying it in our group chat with Tark the other day, like fobs are more racist than white people. Like
They do
I'm
go
sorry.
crazy.
The quote, the song from Avenue Q, everyone's a little bit racist. There's literally a song called that. And it really makes a lot of like, I was a huge musical theater. I mean, this is also the same musical that had the song The Internet's for Porn that went viral on the internet, like back
I
in
remember that.
middle school. Yeah, I knew that beforehand. But like, it's a satirical take on like adulthood, and you learn like the harsh truth that everyone's a little bit racist. They talk about these racial stereotypes that people make fun of, and like, stop being so PC. But even though the people who wrote the musical also wrote Frozen songs and like and are Bernie people, so like that was kind of ironic. But like it just makes sense to everyone has a bit of racism in them, like a little bit. It's just there we have biases.
We're all talking shit behind closed doors and being racist.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm with that all day. Say whatever racial slur when somebody cuts you off on the freeway or whatever. But
don't be saying woke and DEI and CRT to people's faces. Like, come on now.
And I think I know obviously Bam's not just talk about something that's true, but it's much more complex and ingrained in like just the systematic issues that minorities, Black people, all the people races have just come up with and been institutionalized within America over the years. Expanding on a point, especially about fobs, which is, I feel funny saying that on the podcast, but like, I think it's like one thing when you experience racism just in itself as like a construct in America every day, whether it's white people, everything. But like when it comes to fobs, it's like they like, it's a lot of leaning back to old, like feels like old tropes, jokes about like watermelon and shit like that. And deep cut racism where I'm like, it's one of those things where you're like, you feel like you're really supposed to be super immune to this, but you're like, why the hell am I hearing this today? Like, this is like the shit I was watching like, Color Purple. Like, why am I hearing this now?
From this person. Like,
yeah, like out of all the people, like this dude right here, like in front of me, like, what buddy, like, what are we, like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are you doing right now?
Like,
at the end of the day, you're a minority too, dog. Like, what are you doing?
Like, it's so like outdated, like the tropes about like a lot of people like, well, the N-word means ignorant person. Like, white people say that, they're like, well, it's okay. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's still not right to say it. There are certain, boundaries.
Yeah, Dan.
But it just drives me nuts when this like old school racism, like the shit, like, making almost like minstrel caricatures of people of color for art and shit like that. Like, no, like it just growing up in the South, like I learned early on about like, oh, white people and Black people can have children together. Like I learned early on about like racism and interracial relationships. And since I grew up in the poor borough of Freehold, all my childhood friends were kids of color. We always played together. We rode bikes. I wonder how they're doing now and stuff like that. But like, if you're like a younger working class person, you probably have a lot more sympathy probably than like rich elitists who just use those people for like work or labor or shit like that.
Now I'm going to buy some mother F bleep guns.
No. I wanted to get us some like world stuff because I know we're like running on the last 40 minutes of BAM's time.
Super
But right after this.
Okay.
But trade war stuff. We were promised 90 deals in 90 days.
Oh my god, they're back again.
One of my favorite things ever. Let's run this really quickly.
Mr. President, on tariffs, what happened to 90 trade deals in 90 days?
We've spoken to everybody. We know it's all done. I told you, we'll make some deals, but for the most part, we're going to send a letter. We're going to say, welcome to the United States. If you'd like to participate in the greatest, most successful country ever. I mean, we're doing better than ever. I don't think, and you're going to see these numbers soon. We've never had numbers like this. We've never had investment like this. We have more than 90. We're going to have much more than 90, but most of those are going to be sent a letter. This is exactly what I said. Now, we've made a deal with United Kingdom. We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal. We're close to making a deal with India. Others we met with, and we don't think we're going to be able to make a deal, so we just send them a letter. If you want to play ball, you have to. This is what you have to pay. So as far as I'm concerned, we're done. We're sending out letters to various countries, telling them how much tariffs they have to pay. Some will maybe adjust a little bit, depending if they have a cause. We're not going to be unfair about it. And actually, it's a small fraction compared to what we should be getting. We could be asking for much more, but for the sake of relationships that we've had with a lot of really good countries, we're doing the way I do it. But we could be getting a lot more. We could ask for a lot more than what we're asking for.
You say we're done because you're sending the letters to follow up on Ed had asked earlier. You're counting these as deals by saying, here's the tariff rate we're going to charge. I'm saying, here it is. Congratulations. Welcome to the United States. I hope you make a lot of money and you're going to pay us money.
Okay, why? Okay, Trump, I know you use Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse Foundation Honey Beige, but you gotta blend into your hairline. You gotta blend that shit like into your ear, into your hairline. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, I just had to remind him. Also, Rem Beauty is not sponsored, but I use all their products.
Christina's makeup is always flawless, so Trump, listen to her.
Take notes.
It's called having a good skincare regimen too. You gotta do that. But yeah, like what the hell? He's been wearing this look since like the 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And it's like
this is what they give you at the booth at the Bloomingdale's on 53rd Street.
Yeah,
like, it's just like
because I don't really pay attention to makeup trends. I pay attention to what makeup artists, like skilled makeup artists, actually do. And what they do is they actually go by what looks best on you as the individual. That does not look good. And again, they would say it's okay to put some foundation in your, on your ear, some powder foundation, whatever. But like, what the hell is this?
Again, Trump, I will, you know what? I won't have a beer with you, but I'll give you my Bloomingdale's card. I got this from Bloomingdale's in New York, just up the street from Trump Tower on 5th Avenue. Go here. They'll get you looking nice. All right. I got my wedding fit from Bloomingdale's. Just like, I'll give you my card.
You didn't invite me anyway.
I don't know if that's where that thing happened. Was it Bloomingdale's or Bergdorf Goodman? I don't know.
If you're talking about that thing, then it definitely isn't the place I'm associated with.
Yeah, this whole tariff deal thing is bullshit. Like, I don't even think it's real. I truly think it's theater. It's not going to do anything to improve or I think even like make worse the conditions of the American public. Like, this is just like his theater to make it like, it's almost it damn near. This is like almost like his handlers are like, here, like go out. You can say you made some deals to make you feel good about yourself. Like, this is all just silliness and like a deal for what, dude? Like what do you mean? Like, oh, we made a deal. Like, what's the deal say? Like, we're gonna do this and you do that. Like, stop. Like, The shit's gonna go on the boat. It's gonna come here or not. Like, what the hell?
Details. Speaking of which, get that highlighter.
Big beautiful deals. So there's
big wonderful boobs. Now that's the deals I'm interested in.
There's a lot of stuff that
likewise.
There's a lot of just like general stuff like Trump has been doing as this is all happening. He's also, and ceez, this is what I would love to have you comment on. Apparently this trade war has gone to the south. To the south.
Hold on, let me get my representation. I'll be back.
Boom, 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 boom. No. This is going to be. I just called ceez like 30 slurs at once. But anyways, breaking news, not breaking, but live, local, and late breaking. Trump is going to tariff goods from Brazil at 50% in the midst of the BRICS summit meeting, where Brazil is meeting with Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, a bunch of other wealthy countries.
Leave my lula alone.
During this time, Trump is deciding to pick a fight with them and saying that he's going to go 50% ban for ban tariffs on citing the witch hunt trial against Jair Bolsonaro. Ceez's boy Jair Bolsonaro.
Wait, he's not. I thought he died. With all the
he's still
illness.
alive. Still alive.
Like 9
COVID can't take him down. COVID cannot take him down.
Remember the day he first got COVID and Michael Brooks was celebrating like no tomorrow? Oh my God, that was a good day.
He celebrated too hard. That's what. Never mind.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Essa menina. No.
Let me just run through the Friday Night Lights real quick while ceez you hit him up. You hit him up real quick.
Essa menina. Essa menina. Those best TikToks ever.
Man, Brazil and what other was it like? What was it? Vietnam? What was the country that also was like, yeah, you did martial law, we're gonna send you to jail? Why can't we do that here?
Yeah,
because we are simps
South Korea. South Korea.
No, okay.
Oh, yeah.
South Korea. Yeah.
Go ahead, ceez.
So I didn't hear the segue. I didn't hear the segue into it. I'm sorry. I wasn't.
There's no segue. This is a
how much
defend your boy.
How much is coffee gonna cost if Brazil gets a 50% tariff?
I mean for America, right? Because I think Brazil is America's second largest importer, right? Or behind China. I believe China is the only other person that imports more to United States. Brazil's number 2. Shout out big Brazil. Yeah, I did see a Democracy Now. And Dan Glad showed me too. I think it was Pietra Costa. She was on there talking about. I did watch Edge of Democracy. That was fantastic. Her coverage with Edge of Democracy, and as she spoke about on Democracy Now, at the time Bolsonaro was just seen as like a far right, kind of just a far right freak. He was just saying crazy shit. It wasn't taken that seriously, and she ties into this new documentary she's coming out with on July 14th. Was Apocalypse in the Tropics.
Something like that. It sounded catchy. Yeah.
Apocalypse in the Tropics ties in how her coverage of how, leaning towards some of the evangelicals that started their missions down in Brazil, tied into gaining more power for Bolsonaro to become a prominent figure. I kind of have a little bit of I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm sure she's right. She probably knows me. I feel like there's a little bit more to just that. Because this is my thing. I think that we're caught in this space where there's these prominent figures that induce violence, harm people, and stoke power to oppress, give power to the 1% and destroy the majority. We love to take away them having all the responsibility and find other avenues of pointing it. And that's what they want. Yeah, I'm sure that this priest has a lot of power, and he invoked power, which allowed Bolsonaro to gain reputation, and probably because he lightly endorsed and committed to being an evangelical lightly. I mean, this who's not religious at all. But I think when you also do that, you play this game of where you're like, oh, well, yeah, Bolsonaro did it, but like this guy's a real issue. And then you kind of like take away the responsibility and the blame that he's supposed to take. And I think that happens to Trump a lot in America. We cut ourselves in like blaming figures before Trump, after Trump, around Trump, and we just accept Trump for what he is when he should just be held culpable for everything he does. He should be liable for everything he acts on. And I think the same should happen for Bolsonaro. I'm not letting the foot off. I'm not taking the foot off the brake. I'm not letting the foot off the neck or whatever. I'm not doing that with Bolsonaro. He's getting a full clip in Brazil. And Brazil's administrative justice Moares feels the same way. I mean, this is the same man who was going against Elon Musk when he was perpetuating a lot of the fake propaganda in Brazil. He shut down Twitter in Brazil, and he's doing the same thing with keeping Bolsonaro responsible for what happened on the fake January 6th in Brazil. So this man, it's really crazy that we're getting to the point where you're able to institute a tariff just because of like, it's
I don't like this person.
Yeah, you're fucking with my homie, and like I don't really like that. Like you're fucking with my homie. That shit is whack. It's really whack. Me and Bam obviously had a conversation, and I joked around about being all about bricks. I'm big bricks now, even though I'm definitely not because they're terrible.
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm not.
I will say this. I won't say it's a good thing necessarily, but I guess because we just recently had a former president of Brazil locked up, it set the precedent for another former president of Brazil to get locked up. Lula was in jail,
literally in jail.
So it's not crazy if Bolsonaro gets locked up. Like
it's not crazy, and he knows that too. He knows that. But Lula was the example of the Dilma shit is obviously horrific, and what happened to her is terrible, being tortured. The precedent is like, oh, when you're president, you're able to like get away with everything, skirt things. Literally, they put Lula in jail. He had to do an interview to bitch ass Greenwald from jail. So the thing is, it's real. So there's an avenue where they can put your ass in there. It's not like, well, I'd be the first one. No, you'd be the second one. And trust me, they're down because you were shitting on all those people that want to put you in there. Lula's course, he wasn't shitting on them. So that's a whole different avenue.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Lula being in jail was the reason that Bolsonaro won the presidency.
Yes. He didn't win with the majority. He only won with the majority after Lula's votes were deemed in court to not be accepted while he's locked up. So when they deemed in the court that his votes did not count for a president in jail, suddenly the Bolsonaro's vote, the 39% or the 33%, whatever he had, became the majority for him to win.
Yeah, I want to bring up. Sorry, go ahead. But like, I want to bring up.
Thank you, President Trump.
No. When Amy Goodman was talking about the segment that I was talking about, like ceez was referencing earlier, it's this idea of dominion theology, which is not just like you're tying like dominion theology is one of those like college terms where like it holds a lot in there. So just to unpack it, not only are you tying religion to politics, but you're saying because of my religion, I need to control every lever of politics. So it's this idea of like, that Jair Bolsonaro, that like Jair Bolsonaro was like really pushing, but also that Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu and a bunch of other figures are pushing that like, because of a religious holier power combined with the political situations within my country, I am uniquely the one. I alone can fix this, and I have the approval of God. Some might maybe even call this, I wouldn't call this because I'm too modest, but maybe some might say that I have the mandate of heaven. And like if you are real historical, like if you actually like got above a B- in your high school history classes, then that phrase just like tingled some antenna for you. But like the mandate of heaven was literally where we're at. It was just that the ruler was like, oh yeah, God said that I should be the ruler. And anyone time someone asked like, oh, well, are you sure God said you was the ruler? He would either go, yeah, of course, or the ruler would go, yeah, of course, and he would kill the person who asked. Right? And until situations were like so bad and so drastic, where like, okay, well, we had like, you know, like 3 plagues, 5 floods, and 7 wars that we've all lost. I don't know, dog. Like, maybe God don't like you. Like, only was it then that like kings would be switched around, right? And you know, I don't think we're on like I don't think we've regressed so badly in history that we're back to this like mandate of heaven school of politics, where like it's going to take a massive disaster for us to get out of this. I actually think we're in a worse position where no matter how many terrible bad disasters happen, as we've seen with like, never mind the school shootings is like a societal problem, but like the environmental disasters that we've had from, at least in my lifetime, from Hurricane Katrina onwards, like Republicans don't think climate change exists. Republicans are blaming Canadians on climate change right now, right? Like that's how much they don't think this shit exists. And so we're currently in that environment to where this as Petra Costa speaks about dominion theology, like we're in a state where 30% of the country worships Trump the same way they would worship a religion. And I think that's scary. And I think we need to like actually start to like, as so-called leftists, like apply our politics within that reality that like, we're not actually playing in a political game. We're playing against people who think that we're fighting against their God. And so they're going to fight us 10 times harder than we think they want to fight. And so we've got to prepare to fight 100 times harder than them politically.
And their God is allowed to be a pedophile.
And their God's allowed to be a pedophile
and
a vicious person. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
That evangelical strain of religion. I remember watching a documentary a pretty long time ago, probably like 15 years ago, about like the spread of evangelicism to Brazil, especially. And you know, this is America. People don't really care about anything outside our borders that much, but Brazil is like a very, very important country. You know, especially in this hemisphere, but like in the world. Like this is a very big country, a lot of natural resources, and it just became a democracy 30 years ago. Was it 93 or 88? I think it was like 93.
93.
Yeah, when it became a democracy. And less than 100 years before that, it ended slavery. But and Caesar was celebrating that, trying to anyway.
I'm sorry, 85. 85.
Is when they became a democracy?
Yeah, 85 was the end of the military dictatorship.
Okay. So yeah, like the way that Brazil goes, it has a lot of influence on the region, like in South America, and also just politically worldwide. And Caesar, not to get too geopolitical here, but Caesar and I were having a conversation about the BRICS summit that he was very happy about just because it was in Brazil. But Dan heard that Trump was going to tear off the BRICS and got out of here right when I said it. But no, Caesar, sorry. But I'm fake coming for Caesar. But I did have like some, like, I don't really believe the BRICS is real like that. Like, I don't actually think it's
relax,
real.
dog.
No, it's not real. But I do have like a slight criticism of Lula and Modi and Ramaphosa in South Africa. Modi, not so much. I don't know how much he believes in democracy, but you know,
not at all.
Having this quote unquote organization along with China and Russia, two countries that are like anti-democratic, I'm like, Brazil, let's just say Brazil and South Africa are like thriving democracies. And democracy is like really like it's like tied into the constitution of Brazil. I mean, you're seeing it even more now because they're actually going to put a former president on trial. Like this shows like the levers of their democracy are working.
Well, you and Trump align on BRICS then, so that's tight.
That's okay. But well, he thinks it is real because he's gonna tear people that like it.
Okay, dude. No,
but yeah, I just look at it like, if you're a country that like the democracy is like really important, like what are you doing like hanging out with Putin, dude? Like, you know what I mean?
And like expanding what Bam said, largely like there's three main reasons why I liked BRICS. Number one, Brazil was in it. Yeah. Number two, it's a great acronym. I love that shit. BRICS, that shit bangs. Okay. It's a really good one. It makes me want to hold a brick in the air. Makes me want to make dope dealing drugs jokes. It's a great acronym. BRICS is a fun one to say. And
that's the
number
name of
three,
one of the money trucks in town.
and I think like in the time of like all the tariffs and stuff that America is doing to levy itself like as like a trading force aggressively against the world, I'm like, there's like this part of me that wants to see more unifications among nations outside the U.S., especially like that global, like the globe coming together in that, like going around and expanding and creating unions around or partnerships around America. I'm like, that shit's sick to me. So that's a 3. Now, if you told me that one of them was going to be 2 massive warmongers, one that's been bombing a country for years, I'd be like, damn, like we couldn't pick some better folks like Russia. Really? Do we really needed Russia?
They started it.
I know, but it's like, did we? Lula, you're a great negotiator, but goddamn, Doc, some people you got to be like, you're tight, but
yeah, I agree with you in a sense. Like I do like that there is like a counterweight to like NATO.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say NATO. It's
NATO,
more like the G7 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like
you see it there.
I just don't really think that they're actually doing it. Like I don't think that they're like actually like
does this stoking these flames that Trump does that invigorate energy towards creating something?
No, I don't think that's going to make these countries closer because at the same time, like these countries are also still trying to make deals with America.
Very much, like, especially India, India.
And like they have like such opposing views. Like India and China are like damn near mortal enemies. India is supporting Israel. At the same time, they're doing something at the BRICS saying like they're at the BRICS like creating something to like criticize Israel, but I'm like, you're doing that at the same time as Russia is bombing the shit out of Ukraine. So it's like,
okay, you're right. You're right.
It's just like it's giving the same as the G7. Like
it's like check your own house before you start, doing some other shit. Yeah.
And there are leftists like. I love Gerald Horne so much. He's like a big BRICS guy. He even said like special military campaign talking about the war in Russia. I said I'll give him a pass one time, but like he's like big BRICS or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, like that's cute, but like this isn't like what it was when it was the Soviet Union. It like back then it was like the Soviet Union was like supporting like all the African independence movements and like all the countries that were like against America. Like this is where like Nelson, like the ANC from South Africa went to get trained in the Soviet Union and went to college there. They were like fighting against like the Western imperialism, Soviet Union. That ain't what Russia is anymore. You know what I mean? Like
that shit is gone. That shit is an oligarchy 100% now.
Like China is not really that. Like it's just another country, like so I'm kind of like I'm not really like aligning with anybody in them shits, like or any of them as a like a conglomerate, because I'm like, they're all kind of fugazi to me.
This is my thing too. Now, sorry, I'll let you go, Kristina. My bad. I think like the last thing is like also like which I rarely do. I don't like to really criticize Lula. That's my dog right there. He made it out of jail straight out, just like Young Thug and Lula both have in common. Both made it out of jail. I think the criticism I were to give Lula is that the path towards rebuilding something stronger for South America, for Brazil, I understand he prides himself on being able to negotiate across party lines, with anybody. He's able to extend that hand, and if respect is given back, he's able to work with them. That's great. That's a great thing. But you should also be wary of aligning yourselves with nations that, if they do something irrehensible, like really bad later on, probably is not correct English. If you do something really bad later on, that's someone you considered an ally. So are you gonna be speaking to defending that, condoning it? What happens there? You play a dangerous game when you align yourself with people with a lot of power, a lot of bombs, and a lot of energy to start fucking up smaller other nations. Great, you made a great trade deal, but at what expense, dog? Because at the other side of it, someone could be like, does that mean you don't give a fuck about Ukraine? Because I don't think if you ask Lula, he would say that. But it's like, okay, Doc, but you're working with Russia though, so it's like. What you're not working with Russia to change Russia to make them do better or really end the war. Maybe you can make a statement, but it's like you're still aligning with people that are actively doing that every day. So it's a tough game, and that's why it sucks. But the acronym does go hard. Sorry, go ahead, Dan. Shout out Bricks.
I have nothing much to add. I'm trying to practice what I still cannot do, which is like hosting while just letting folks speak. Yep, that's exactly the thing. So with that, I will read I want to go into one last story really fast because I promised it. But what you can do, shout out to you, says wild request, but can Kristina give a slightly arrogant wink to the camera?
I don't know what that is. Let's see.
We have world peace. We have world peace.
That wink was to me, y'all.
Oh,
of course.
But yes, we have that there. No, I really agree with you, mainly with ceez's point that like BRICS is the best sort of that's the name for an alliance. Like, if you have an alliance, to call yourself like NATO, whatever. The allied powers,
fucking with BRICS right now?
powers, that's lazy, but like you fucking with BRICS, dude?
Oh fuck.
BRICS, dude.
They're gonna come at you with bricks.
Yeah.
They're gonna ready to go. That's their Obama.
Under Samuati, Jefferson, Silva, Ginaldo, press the red button. They fucking with BRICS right now, dog. Hell no. Let them know.
So I wanted to, I guess, like wrap this up here with this Vulture article to get a little bit culture-y about things.
Yeah, let's go. My thing.
Allison Wilmore from the Vulture writes,
No
Superman
spoilers.
isn't trying to be political. We just have real life supervillains now. And I feel like, over the past several years, we've done Power Report, especially with having Kristina and Forrest and other folks from Movie Night Extravaganza, youtube.com/Movie Night Extravaganza. Folks should check that out every week. But like ever since we've done the show while having y'all on here, we've had this similar sort of conversation of like the intersection of modern, I don't even call it like modern art, but I'll just call it like pop culture.
Yeah.
And politics and noobs. Like that seems to be like the intersection. And you get a lot of people who are like, I saw a meme that I unfortunately can't bring out right now, but it was like people who are when they were kids, and it was like very clear what the Superman message was. Like Superman was like, all people who are together are the same, right? Like like all immigrants are people. Like that's kind of like the Superman message. And then you have those same people going like, oh, Superman's saying the same message, but now I'm an adult and I've been like engulfed in all this like right-wing bullshit. And they go, how did Superman become so woke? How did King of the Hill could become so woke? Like,
he's not an immigrant. What's so funny though? Dean Cain, who is probably worse than Henry Cavill as Superman, he did Lois and Clark. He also was the man who got Brooke Shields to lose her virginity to, unfortunately. But I know that's a weird tidbit I learned from her. But he said that like, oh, he's not an immigrant. Making him an immigrant makes it political. There's a clip now viral from Lois and Clark where they questioned his immigrant status, Dean Cain's, and his name is actually Dean Tanaka. Like he actually changed his name.
You from Hawaii or something?
Yeah, he's half Japanese, and
He's
they
come
had
from the
to,
show.
they had,
Comes from the show Hawaii Five-0,
yeah.
that's why.
They had to change Superman's background for him for Lois and Clark.
That's funny.
But that's why Christopher Reeves can't be top. But I will say this: the reason why y'all need to watch this new Superman movie with David Cornsweet as Superman. First, he was born to play, and second of all, there is definitely an anti-imperialism, anti-genocide, anti-Israel messaging in the movie. And we also get a Lex Luthor.
And they got it made?
Yeah, they did. Well, here's the thing about James Gunn. Aside from the funny stuff, he does know how to tackle issues. Like even in the Suicide Squad movie that he directed, which had a lot more heart, they dealt with, U.S. imperialism in a way that's like, you're experimenting on innocent children for this, a government experiment that can't be, exposed. And that's why they send the Suicide Squad to destroy it. But then they realize what's really going on. They're like, we gotta be heroes. Like it's interesting to me how people just forgot what Superman or any of these superheroes are supposed to represent. Like people think Batman kills people. Nope, that's Batman's number one rule. He doesn't kill people. He's not supposed to. That goes against the code, And so when I saw this movie a few hours ago, I absolutely loved it. Like this is what we need as a country, like messaging about they kept harping on the fact that he's an alien. They kept saying the word, that you're an alien, that you're this, that you're
an illegal alien, perhaps.
He's an alien.
Yes, pretty much. That's based on what Lex Luthor was telling him, and that they were turning their backs on him because his parents sent him to rule the world and destroy it or whatever. But he's like
hitting
no.
Superman with the old papers, please. Which really, I'll be honest,
It did the same to Jesus Christ. Okay.
Well, sorry. In defense of ICE.
What? Clip it.
Ceez hopped out that scene real quick.
Yeah.
Every time I watch a Superman movie, and this goes back to like what stupid. This goes back to like Batman Returns, Superman Returns in like the early 2010s.
Yeah.
And this just lets you know how my dating life was going in like middle and high school. Every time I would watch like a Superman movie, I would almost come to that bitch with a clipboard and I'd just be like, damn, okay, they let Superman get rid of like, 3 buildings,
Okay,
like
now I'm back.
Superman,
Okay. I don't know if that's in defense of ICE, but that's fair enough.
I would watch Superman movies being like the insurance adjuster. It's like, damn, they let Superman get rid of like four fucking buildings.
He's
like,
literally
they let him
the
throw a
worst
train?
created.
Like,
He's
like,
the
let me just,
worst
like,
created comic book character ever. He's the worst created comic book character.
Whoa.
He's OP. It's not fun to have a guy who's OP.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is. He only really lost to what is it, Apocalypse or Doomsday, whatever the fuck his name was. It's not fair.
And Batman.
Instead of defending his people, he's defending the annoying ass humans every day. This shit is weak, dog.
And in the movie they do mistreat him because Lex Luthor be propagandizing, and also too they literally have their own version of like a concentration camp for like metahumans too in the movie. Like it's crazy.
Listen, I'm not saying
spoiler, by the way, I have not seen it. I didn't know it was a concentration camp. Spoiler, I didn't see it. I'm waiting for it to come out on max.com.
Oh wow, it's called HBO Max now.
HBO Max, the one to watch. The other one to watch. Sorry.
I mean, Superman does have his weaknesses and all that, but if you watch Thunderbolts, Marvel has their own Superman, Sentry, or we call him Bob.
True.
But yeah, he's just Bob. But it's fascinating to me how Snyder fans don't understand anything in regards to Superman. Like they think he needs to be like this unfeeling god who does kill people mistakenly. But the best part about this Superman, humans don't die. Like he really does everything he could to protect them. And plus Crypto, the Wonder Dog.
Oh yeah, we forgot that Superman had access to Blue Alert, so every time he's fucking barreling through section housing in New York and fucking up leveling shit, he's just going back and being. Good thing I text everybody real quick that I'm about to send this whole fucking creature through it. My bad.
Yeah, watch out! I'm gonna call 1-800 Cop Shot on Superman.
Don't worry, your taxpayer money is gonna fix it.
I know, but
he fucking takes off.
But it's just so funny funny when they're like, he's not an immigrant, he's an orphan. I'm like, but he's still an immigrant because he's from a completely different planet.
Yeah. You're telling me some immigrant comes into New York, just starts fucking buildings up? Huh?
Metropolis.
Sorry, Metropolis, wherever the hell, Atlantis, wherever that shit is.
Let me tell you.
My top journalist with a fake ID switching his identity up? Hell no.
My dream job is to be an insurance adjuster in Metropolis because that's how I'm gonna get Superman. I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, that building costs about $12 million.
Farm is sponsoring the fuck out of him. If it was a real movie, he'd have a little State Farm advertisements on his undies and shit because they're gonna love this man. Allstate or You're in Good Hands, all that shit's gonna be all over him.
Yeah. We got to thank Dwayne Johnson because he said after Black Adam premiered, he's like, the DCU is gonna be changing, and I'm like, yeah. It took 4 years, but we got here.
Yeah. I mean, he was hoping that they would have a fight together, but then that did not happen anymore. So
thank God.
Sorry,
no one wants to see Black Adam.
I do love seeing
but I like the movie on the plane. It's a good plane movie.
Yeah, I love seeing people mauled.
No, that is not. That is not.
You know what's
true,
so funny
Dan.
though? Is seeing people.
I just want to say crazy shit to see people's reactions. Like,
what's
if you are sitting in the center row and coach, load up porn right now.
No, don't do that. I'd be
their money
when
is
scenes
yours.
come on in a movie, like a sex scene comes in a movie, I'd be hella embarrassed. I'd be like, skip 10 seconds. I'm in the plane. I'm like, skip.
Load it up in that center seat right there on Alaska Airlines coach.
In sinners,
load it up on that Embraer.
On your free T-Mobile Wi-Fi, load that shit up, dog. 5 MBs down.
But I think it's funny that people were analyzing the entire movie based on the trailer alone. I'm like, they're like, it makes no sense. That girl would be dead. I'm like, guys, it's a fucking movie.
Yeah, that's
Wait, you can't base the entire
that's me and Bam in the theater
movie
though.
on like a 2-minute trailer. Like that was just the funny thing, seeing people like try to like dissect and just they don't think James Gunn knows what he's doing. Like he knows what he's doing. He's done all the successful comic book movies. I mean, he's the reason why the Infinity Stones were a central point to the Avengers saga.
Okay, I have a question for you before I hand over to Bam. Did you think this is better than the DC Zack Snyder movie?
Oh hell yeah, by like 1 billion times.
I thought that movie kind of banged. I thought it was a great COVID movie. Justice League 6-hour movie. That shit kind of slapped.
They gave him the trunks back. Thank God.
I'm with the Snyders on Twitter, which I'm not on Twitter. I'm with them. Let's fucking ride, dog. Hell yeah, Snyder would have went crazy.
They're not happy right now with how it's getting loved by like Christopher Reeve's family and critics and audiences. I'm like, maybe make Superman more, down to earth, literally.
I did see it looked very edited, like it was like super CGI'd up.
It actually really good though, surprisingly, because James Gunn took his time. Like a lot of people are like, hurry up, James Gunn, when you gotta bring this movie out. He's like, I want to make this a decent, like good, like movie. Plus, also he believes in colors. None of this urine yellow bullshit for cinematography. It had color for once. Like
DEI Superman, you're right. They're right about it.
A lot of like superhero movies are shot in S-Log. If you know, you know.
Yep.
Like they're shot in like the default Sony. The shot in the grayest scale Sony like imagery you can possibly do. That's like, oh yeah, this is gritty. This is cool. When I'm like, dude, if you're a video editor of like any sort of like, I'm a YouTuber, and I know that the only reason you shoot an S-Log is in order to get better colors when you edit out of them. So like, this is $1 billion movie. You're paying the editors. Do some color correction. Like, let's add some, like, this is Disney. Let's Pixar that shit. But no, like, no one's going to listen to me. It's fine. No one should listen to my opinions on comic book movies, and nor should they. That's just how it is. Oh no.
I have one more thing to say about David Zaslav, the wonderful CEO of Warner Brothers, who doesn't know what the
David
fuck
the
he's doing.
Zaz. Zaz the Love.
Listen
Zaz
to this.
the Dave.
So David Zaslav reportedly dismissed developing Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman movie back in 2022, calling it too woke.
This is the guy.
Wait, Ta-Nehisi Coates made a superhero movie?
He wanted to, but David Zaslav was like, no, we can't have a Black Superman. That's too woke.
No, I didn't think it was Black Superman. Really? I thought it was I thought it was Catwoman or something. What was it? That the movie he cut?
No, Batgirl.
Batgirl, yeah. I knew he cut Batgirl.
In defense of David Zaslav, that's probably
Which
a
was
good call.
probably a rare W. We're good.
Hey,
Like, I'll be
Appreciate
honest,
you,
like
though.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, I'm not sure if he should be making movies.
Hey, as someone who loves Looney Tunes, I'm glad that they brought the Earth Blew Up back on HBO Max for streaming because that shit was fucking funny. I mean, Daffy Duck doing an OnlyFans bit and showing ass crack was hilarious. And being responsible for Porky Pig's stutter, again, dark moment, but loved it.
Yeah, and as someone who loves ass crack, again, I don't think Ta-Nehisi Coates should be making a superhero movie.
The chat is based for that. He did mess up Arcane season 2. He absolutely throttled it by making it like 90% movie, 90% sketch art music video. I'm like, why did you destroy something that was so good?
Slow motion
still shots. It's like they were flipping a paper with a camera on top. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? We've been waiting 3 years. Why did you do this?
I just found Zack Snyder's films for the DCEU to be very, very boring. Like the only ones that he wasn't attached to, like directed or wrote, were good. Like even the Wonder Woman, despite Gal Gadot's bad acting, Birds of Prey, and even like Aquaman. Like the movies that he wasn't attached to, that he had any besides just a producer credit, those were actually really good. Which
iPad airplane movies for sure.
Yeah.
Hooligan Grundy, last comment of the night says Coyote versus Acme or whatever it's called.
Yeah, let's go.
Acme? Holy shit.
Yep, Coyote versus
that's that smut, baby. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're going real Looney Tunes with that.
Because Disney utilizes their mascots like Mickey Mouse and so forth, and Warner Brothers was like, let's get rid of all the Looney Tunes cartoons and shove them to Tubi or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Okay, well, wait. We're just gonna glaze over saying that Wonder Woman was a good movie. We're gonna say that. We're all good with that.
The first one?
Yeah,
the first one was not that good. It was not that good.
The first one was good.
The 1984 one was terrible.
That's because you have a crush on Gal Gadot. That's different. That doesn't mean the movie was good.
Wait a minute.
Decent.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself
Bunny
and
chasing
everyone else
Bam.
in
Okay.
danger. You need to give me the stone. What happened to it?
Yeah, every single line. What are you talking about? It's like, where do you care?
Champagne to fill the Nile.
Like I'll be honest, like the Wonder Woman movie that wasn't 1984 is a very like NPC ass movie. Like every character other than Gal Gadot might as well have been hitting the.
The animated went hard though. The animated series was a banger. The animated series was hard.
Oh wow!
You must construct additional pylons. Like those are the mental acuity most of those characters were acting at in that main Wonder Woman movie. But
did anybody watch Blue Beetle? Or are you guys?
I watched Blue Beetle.
Pretty good.
It was
I'm racist, man.
They did have a famous Brazilian actress in there. She's dope. She used to be Neymar's ex.
I still recommend not the first Suicide Squad movie that I'm still trying to dissect what the movie's about 10 years later, but the Suicide Squad. They filmed it. I almost got cast in that as an extra. I just didn't make it to the Augusta mental prison next to Red Lobster soon enough to be featured in a scene. Wolf whistling, Idris Elba, and John Cena, like I wanted.
That entire sentence should just be in your like social media bios. I didn't make it to the Augusta, Georgia insane asylum, Red Lobster. To like just run that entire sentence again.
That is such a great time to like learn the English language and hear that sentence from Kristina and be like, "What was this description?"
You're never gonna need that again. But that's a great sentence.
Red Lobster
I could have
with John Cena.
I could have been Idris Elba and be like, "Yo, cats, that shit sucked, dude."
This edition of the NBA on TNT was brought to you by Wingstop's Wings at CarMax. Wait, it's one of those moments where like you don't need to know the English language for that set. Like that's a waste of English. But if you do know the English language, that's a funny one.
Yeah. That's funny as hell. But yeah, I highly recommend Superman. This is it's a breath of fresh air compared to what
there.
I didn't know it was out yet.
Yep, came out today, and everyone's like, "How are you able to see it now?" I'm like, because my movie does Thursday night previews. Actually, sometimes they do Wednesday previews. They did that for Wicked. I was like, I'm seeing that shit Wednesday.
I mean, you need a Wednesday preview because that movie needs to be watched in like 2 days, honestly. But no, we are over Bam's allotted schedule time, so this
and mine too.
This is
late out here.
Uh-oh. Look who's here, McGraw,
It's-
or I call him Smoke.
Again,
Smokestack twins.
we're midnight out here, so like, shut up. Anyways.
Oh, now Dan's we're
I'm
midnight.
fine with that.
Big, we're midnight Dan. Before it was all good.
It's late out here, yo.
Anyways,
It's 9.
This has been it is 9 past midnight.
It's okay. You're in a city that never sleeps. You're fine.
Yeah, that's and he says it does sleep apparently. Which
It
I call
absolutely
bullshit on that.
Dan? NY Dan?
Well, anyone's invited to keep me awake any extra hours past midnight, but like until then, this has been your Power Report. Ceez, Bam, Kristina, Dan. We're out here. We're also out there on thisspace.tv, where a lot of leftists are streaming a lot of the time. So check that out. I endorse everyone. We should have some exciting things coming soon. One of my beefs may finally be ending. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Forrest told me the good news.
Maybe, we don't know. Maybe Forrest is going to be the latest victim to see the obvious thing I've been seeing. But anyways, ceez is doing the princess wave right now, so we've got to head out. Anyways, for all of y'all watching and listening out there on the stream, thank you very much. But the power is always within you. And as I find the outro asset right there, we're going to get out. Cheers.
I need that shawl.